Hello, retro gamers, and welcome to the Video Game Flashback Podcast. I'm your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Video Game Flashback is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps, and of course featuring Spotify, because we're with, of course, Spotify for podcasters. So the more you listen on that app, you download and listen on that app, it'll help this show. If you don't want to, it's up to you. If you prefer Apple Podcasts or, who knows, Audible or something else, it's all up to you, Stitcher. But if it can kind of help the show. Also, there's another option to help the show is there's a little support the show link that I put in there where if you want to, you can make donations as low as 99 cents to help the show kind of keep things going, this and that. Who knows, if need be, to purchase a game necessary or possibly better equipment or repairs or something. So it's all up to you. You don't have to do anything, but if you want to, it's greatly appreciated. With that said, today we are going to talk about Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest for the NES. Came out back in good old 1986, in Japan anyway. That's where it originally came out. It was released by Enix or Enix, which a lot of people see now combined with Squaresoft or Square, basically, like Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior and other things. But back then it was just good old Enix, which honestly I would have to say I like it better. I like things better when they're classic rather than modern in a lot of ways. It was a role-playing game, a turn-based role-playing game, which is something that was kind of new around here, to be quite honest. It even says up in the label, in the box art for the American version called Dragon Warrior in the United States, Dragon Quest in Japan. It says new role-playing, a new role-playing epic, basically, up in the upper left-hand corner of the box. Again, released in Japan on the Famicom in 1986, so that would explain why the graphics may look a little primitive, considering the game didn't come out into North America until 1989. And in a lot of cases, it actually came with Nintendo Power subscriptions. That's why Dragon Warrior was so inexpensive on, like, say, Funko Land and such back in the 1990s. When Funko Land was very prominent, you'd see Dragon Warrior for like $3.49. You'd see Dragon Warrior 2 for like maybe $29.99 or something. Dragon Warrior 3 and 4 for anywhere from $39 to $49 to $59.99. Back in the late 90s, that's over 20 years ago, psychotic inflation, which has been taking place lately. These games might be like $130 according to inflation to the mid-90s already, considering how inflation has torn this planet apart the last couple of years. But we'll digress back to where we were. It came out on multiple different platforms and such, of course, again, and was like re-released on the Super Nintendo and all that. But we'll start off with the MSX. That, of course, was a Japanese system, kind of similar to the Nintendo. MSX2, PC 9801, Super Famicom, that's a Super Nintendo. Game Boy Color, yep, I owned that version. Again, a remade version, Nintendo 3DS, PlayStation 4, mobile phones, and the Nintendo Switch as of 2019. But today, and ultimately, we're going to focus on the Nintendo Entertainment System, the American version of Dragon Warrior. The developer was Chunsoft. The publishers in Japan, Enix. In America, it was officially published by Nintendo in North America. Director Koichi Nakamura. Producer Yukinobu Chida. Designer Yuji Hiroi. Programmer Koichi Nakamura. Artist Akira Toriyama. Writer Yuji Horii. Composer Koichi Sugiyama. And the series Dragon Quest, platform Nintendo Entertainment System, released May 27th, 1986. So we're coming up on the, what would it be? The Way Too Many Years. The Way Too Many Years anniversary. Well, it'd be 37 years already, because this is 2023. We're moving into the month of May. Again, it's a role-playing game. It's single player, so it's for selfish people like me that want to play alone and be left alone. But no, two-player games are a lot of fun, too. I'm just messing around. But that's, that's how it is. And oftentimes, if you're just, if people aren't available to hang out, it's the greatest game ever, games like this. But this one's kind of different than they say at the classic RPG, because you literally are a single player in the game. In a lot of turn-based role-playing games, you often have a couple of friends and all that, like, say, Dragon Warrior 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. you're like, say, the prince of this country, whatever. He's a descendant of the hero of this game. Spoiler alert, right? In Dragon Warrior 2. We'll eventually talk about that one, I think. And then you meet with the princess, who's also a descendant, and another prince who's also a descendant in other countries. In that game, there's three, other kingdoms, so to speak. So there's three characters in that one. But this one, you're by yourself. So you're kind of the lone warrior, which makes you the best of the best in a lot of ways. So a very classic version of an RPG. I tend to play this game every single May, and when you turn the game on, again, for the NES version, the original, you'll kind of sort of see why. It kind of looks like May, at least around in this part of the world, in Minnesota in the United States. It kind of looks like May, so it's just a vibe, and that's why you're hearing me talk to you right now for the first time about this game on Video Game Flashback in the month of May, at least as long as this gets released in May, and I'm sure it will, by like in the later stages of it by the time I'm finishing up. But that's kind of the vibe of this game. Again, like I always say, I'm a little weird. I get the vibe to play certain games at certain times of the year, like say old memories, Christmas memories, Mega Man 2, DuckTales, stuff like that. And of course, in May, Dragon Warrior 1. So that's where we're at right now. Dragon Warrior 1, Dragon Quest 1. Now, the information we're getting right now is from Wiki, so of course I'm going to cite them to be fair, to be, for like, journalism rules, you can say. Dragon Quest was created by Yuji Horii, inspired by previous role-playing games such as Wizardry, Ultima, and his own 1983 game, The Portopia Serial Murder Case. Ooh, interesting. Horii wanted to create an introductory RPG for a wide audience, and he sure did, didn't he? He emphasized storytelling and emotional involvement and simplified the interface to translate the mostly Western PC game genre of RPG to the Japanese console market. Apparently it was, there's a manga artist, Dragon Ball creator, Akira Takemura, Toriyama, produced the artwork. And that explains also why, say, Enix had definitely, especially as you get later on, there is definitely a Japanese animation look to the games, like anime look to the games, like manga and all that, because manga's like the comic book or, like the actual art, which most of you probably already knew before I did, and then Japanese animation is the actual cartoon. But, that same classic look you'll see in Dragon Warrior 2, 3, 4, or Dragon Quest, I should say. The American version looks a little bit more like a Nintendo game versus, manga or anything like that. But that's why you see a lot of similarities to Dragon Ball. And you can also go all the way up to Chrono Trigger when you really first started seeing that here in North America in RPGs. Chrono Trigger came out in 1995, and it's like they look like Dragon Ball characters, or Dragon Ball characters look like Chrono Trigger in my case. Because, let's just say I'm late to the party, so to speak. Yeah, Dragon Ball characters look like Chrono Trigger, and so on and so forth. So that's the relation. They're all one big happy family over there. The Dragon Ball and Chrono Trigger and Dragon Quest and blah, 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 blah. It was commercially successful in Japan, but its later release as Dragon Warrior North America was less favorably received. The original version of the game sold more than 2 million copies worldwide, with 1.5 million sold in Japan and only 500,000 in the United States. So, still 500,000, I guess, was enough to bring the price way down, I guess. Later, Western critics noted that the game's shortcomings, but acknowledged in the importance of the genre and all that. So, interesting conversation there. And oftentimes, probably a major frustration of the game with a lot of people, it feels like the whole time you're level building or level grinding, which is the more millennial version of saying it. I grew up saying level building, so I'm going to stick with the way I say it. Na boo boo. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, level building or level grinding. This and that. So yes, it probably was a little different for most people that are used to playing Mario 3, Mario 2, Castlevania, Mega Man, stuff like that. It's like, So you'd walk around in the level, beautiful music, and then all of a sudden, and then you're in a battle scene one-on-one with a slime, probably early on, eventually Drakis, which were like baby, little baby dragons, and a familiar theme that's going to take place throughout this game. There's multiple levels for each monster. So you'll get the same artwork, but it'll be a different color, basically. Color scheme, color design, maybe multiple different colors on ghosts and stuff, like the ghosts, specters, and all that, and you get further and further in the game. It's like a level 3 version of the Ghost, which is way harder because it's not level 3 in terms of like levels, like experience. No, just level 3 is in difficulty, which is way, way harder as you get further and further. That's kind of the whole idea of the game, is just getting stronger and stronger, slowly but surely building up your weapons and experience. So obviously build up the experience and the weapons at the same, or the experience and your money at the same time. Then you can afford new weapons. That's the big key. When you actually build up the money, you can afford new weapons in the random different towns, as we'll talk about them as we actually do the game review and all that. But yeah, you start off with potentially a bamboo pole, move on to the club and onto the copper sword and this and that. And each weapon's a little bit stronger, and you'll notice when you equip it that, and I'll repeat this probably multiple times throughout the game, when you equip it, you'll notice your strength level going whoop, or excuse me, your attack power shooting up. Like maybe you go from 2 to 5. Ooh, that's actually a pretty good jump at the beginning of the game when you consider that's over 100% jump. So you'll have a stronger time you'll have a better chance of killing off a red slime or even a Draki early on, which is the third hardest overall monster in the game. One-on-one battles, though, and they obviously, the further and further along you go, the stronger the monsters, so on and so forth. Yeah, you get more money and more experience, the tougher the monster, but of course, the greater the risk that you're going to get killed. This does kind of follow I swear this game really does follow the really old school, you could say, dare I say, like Dungeons and Dragons style, in terms of like rolling the dice, how strong your hit's going to be. Because occasionally it gets real weird, and I'm going to repeat this probably off and on as well during the course of the game review. You have like this new weapon, whatever, wham, you hit him with 11, that's good. And then you hit him the next time around, it's only like 5. What the heck? How could it drop that much? So it's kind of like that's just my guess, my guesstimation, my theory, that they're going by kind of like a dice type of system. In terms of, you only rolled a 1 this time. Sorry, bub, that's all you get. So that type of thing. And obviously it depends on the monster's defense and so on, and offense and all that crap, how hard the hits are going to be. But for it to change so dramatically in the same battle against the same monster, that's the only explanation I can come up with, is it's kind of like rolling a dice. Like, you rolled only a 1 this time, then you're going to hit the weakest possible hit you can imagine. And then there's also the critical attacks, which will be really exciting. Oftentimes you could kill a much stronger monster in one hit on occasion, but that's all based on luck. And again, we'll talk about potentially possible items that might increase that. But those are just rumors as we go on forward into this one. But again, as you look at the screenshots and such, images that have been around forever, to me, it just kind of looks like springtime or early summer. And that's why I think it's such a perfect fit. And what I like about this game versus the newer Dragon Warrior games is you'll have a background when you're fighting. You know, the little mountains, little hills, little bluffs, whatever you'd call them, rocks and clouds in the background, which I think is great. Where a lot of the second, third, and fourth Dragon Warrior games, the background's black. That's boring. So why did they do that? I don't know. They just did, I guess. So maybe they just figured, screw that part of the detail. We'll just make more detail in other parts of the game. And we'll talk about other things later. That frustrated me about that. But all kinds of cool aspects of this game, though. Again, the most frustrating thing about it is how long it can take to level build. As you get further and further and further in the game, it takes longer and longer. Like, say you need 5,000 experience to get to level 14, and you just got to level, I'm just completely making up random numbers. You got to level 13 at like 2,500, so geez, I got to gain 2,500 more. Oh my God, that's going to take forever. Or maybe it's 1,500 or whatever, but it feels like eternity sometimes. But there's ways to get things done and all of that. So it is kind of based on patience and all that, and it all pays off in the end. So that's kind of the other major key to that. Of course, you can rest at inns and be full power again. There's that. Eventually you get magic points. Just a couple of levels in, you'll start getting magic points, and you can start healing yourself, which will be really nice. Getting the first form of heal and all that. And again, we'll talk about that as we continue forward. There is hit points, magic points, gold, and experience, and of course what level you are. You'll also have interesting aspects like This is, I believe, the only Dragon Quest game that actually says stairs. So you actually have to select stairs to walk down the stairs instead of just automatically walking to the stairs and you walk up or down depending on if it's an ascending or descending staircase. So those are other entertaining kind of aspects to the game. But again, it is kind of funny. And to actually talk to characters, you have to press talk. But I suppose you might press the A button even playing Final Fantasy VI or something, which is pretty easy to do. It's just that one, maybe you have to press it twice. You have to open up the menu by pressing the button once and then press it again and say talk. And you can accidentally talk to nobody. And it'll say, who are you talking to? Which is kind of funny. But that's for someone else's conversation to get into that one. But yeah, that's kind of the main gist of it. And we'll kind of continue kind of almost like random introduction and strategies and how to play the game and such as as I continue through the game review. But again, the object of this game, as we come to the close of the introduction, the main object of the game, of course, you are a young lone warrior, and your object in the early stages of the game is to find and save the princess. We'll talk about who's keeping her at the time, but then ultimately, after you do save her, you have to build up and eventually defeat the Dragon Lord, or Draco Lord in the Japanese version. You're also a descendant of a great hero who had defeated a great evil in the distant past. I don't know if it's supposed to be 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago, but I know from Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior 1 to 2, it is 100-year difference. So you're like a great-great-grandfather or something of the heroes in Dragon Warrior 2. But in this one, yeah, you're a descendant of Erdrick in the American version, Lodo in the Japanese version, and a lot of people just assume that it's Lodo, but I like the name Erdrick. It sounds more like a knight to me, but I suppose Lodo is the original name, so fine, it's Lodo. But I'll keep calling him Erdrick during this review since we're playing the American version. But you collect a lot of his items throughout the game after you defeat the green dragon that's keeping the princess, and you save her and all that. And you build up those items, you find what you need to eventually take on the Dragon Lord himself, because saving the princess is one thing, but the world is still, there's still a huge problem. There's still monsters everywhere. They're still destroying whole cities and so on and so forth, as you'll hear during the storyline of the game. So you have to take care of him before we can truly have peace again, and ultimately regain the Ball of Light, which is what it's called, which will then get rid of all the monsters, and everything is all peace, love, and happiness, for 100 years anyway. And eventually Dragon Warrior 2 comes in, and a very evil wizard screws everything up for everyone. And yeah, back to the pull up thy sword and start fighting again, basically, at the end of the day. With that, though, that's pretty much the end of my introduction to this game. Can't wait to play it. I hope you enjoy it as well. Again, there's the newer versions, you gain levels a little bit faster, but I don't know. I think you lose some of the charm in the newer versions. The music's changed a little bit. It's a little bit, I don't know, and the characters look a little more kiddie, I think, which isn't always my favorite thing either. I like the classic version, but it's up to you how you want to play it. It's still the same game, the same monsters and so on and so forth. Just you might gain levels a little differently, and the caves and caverns and all that kind of thing, and dungeons are slightly different with how you kind of navigate through, but it's the same general idea where you're supposed to go. With that said, let's get on with Dragon Warrior 1 right here and right now. So as you begin the game, you enter your name or whatever nickname you might have. I'm going to put Paladino. That's usually what I put. This game you can actually have like a longer name, somewhat longer. Paladino just barely fits, so up to 8 characters. So I guess Paladino just barely fits. Otherwise, in other older games, oftentimes it's just 4. So I guess Joey or John or Max or Alex or something. Yeah, shout out to my nephews there, Max and Alex. But when they ask you what message speed you want to use, I highly recommend fast, or you're going to have a very boring, slow time reading people's messages. So just pick fast. And now we jump into the castle scene, and you get to hear the castle music inside, right here, right now, in the chamber of the king. Ah, yes. Now we get to hear what he has to say. Descendant of Erdrick, listen now to my words. And the cool part about this game is you get kind of that old thee and thou, that old English biblical thing. Another podcast in the past, I believe, I believe it was George on the SNES podcast was making fun of the thee and thou. That they added that in the American version. It's kind of dumb and pointless. And I disagree. I think it's cool. I like it. I don't know. If you don't like it, that's up to you. But I'll continue. Erdrick. Yep. Descendant of Erdrick, listen now to my words. It is told that in ages past, so of course a dateless past, Erdrick fought demons with a ball of light. Then came the Dragon Lord who stole the precious globe and hid it in the darkness. Yep, so he'll be dealing with a lot of darkness in this game. Now, Paladino, thou must help us recover the ball of light and restore peace to our land. The Dragon Lord must be defeated. Take now whatever thou may find in these treasure chests to aid thee in thy quest. Then speak with the guards, for they have much knowledge that may aid thee. May the light shine upon thee, Paladino. Sounds biblical, but that's good. That's good in my eyes. So in the room, you'll see treasure chests. You have to walk over the treasure chest, so it's not like you walk up to it and press A in this old RPG style. You have to walk over it and press take. Unfortunately, if you're standing next to it, it won't count. You have to be standing over the treasure chest and press take. Of gold, thou hast gained 120, so that's actually pretty good. But don't trick yourself into buying the wrong item with that 120. Use it wisely, young man. Take care and tempt not the fates. Anyhow, take the next treasure chest. Thou hast found the torch. Now we'll talk to a guard who's kind of in the way, kind of, sort of. So you have to actually walk up and press talk. Dost thou know about Princess Gwaelin? I do, but you might not, so I'll hit no. Half a year hath passed since the princess was kidnapped by the enemy. Never does the king speak of it, but he must be suffering much. Paladino, please save the princess. So it's not quite like Mario. Unfortunately, saving the princess is not the end of the game. It's about halfway there. Get the treasure chest by going around, in my case. And this one is the magic key. Well, so there, whenever you see like a silver door like you're seeing now, kind of like a, almost like a dungeon type of door, you have to have a key to open it. So, yeah, most of that's later on in the game, but this is like an introduction to that. Now we talk to the guards. East of this castle is a town where armor, weapons, and many other items may be purchased. Return to the inn for a rest if thou art wounded in battle, Paladino. Sleep heals all. Yep, so just sleep it off, as they say in some of those funny YouTube videos. The other guard says, if thou hast collected all the treasure chests, a key will be found. Once used, the key will disappear, but the door will open. Yep, so it's only one use. The door will open, and thou may pass through. Yep, well, and in a lot of ways it kind of makes sense because, it's kind of like having a key to your house. It's going to only work for your house only, like that particular door, potentially. And then, unfortunately, the other thing, too, this is the most primitive of all the Dragon Warriors in terms of you have to actually press stairs. You have to open it up and press stairs in order to go down and up the stairs, ascending and descending, like I talked about earlier. We'll talk to these other two guards. I'm not going to read what every single person in the castle and the village say, but now we'll actually, first we'll hear what they have to say. King Lorik, that's the name of the king, will record thy deeds in his imperial scrolls. so thou may return to thy quest later. Yep, so basically he's the one that saves your game. You have to go back to the king. The other guard says, if thou art planning to take a rest, first seek King Lorik. That means like you want to be done for now. So real quick, you'll get to hear the regular castle music, not inside the royal chamber. Honestly, not bad, eh? Even though it's 1986, but I love 1986, and I love old classic, and I like the brick ground, I like the brick floor. It looks so cool. So it just puts you in the classic mood of. It puts you both in 1986, but can also put you in ancient times, like say 2,000, 1,500 years ago, something like that. That's about what this looks like. Maybe 1,000, but I'm venturing further than that. Probably like 1,500 years in the past. Or not long after Jesus, like say 2000, like maybe 1900, whatever. But we'll assume this is like anywhere from 15 to 8 to 1500 years ago. Like say at least Robin Hood's time, something like that. That's about 800 years ago. A couple more guards. What the heck? There's a guard kind of hanging around. He says, "Where can I find Princess Gwaelin?" So he's not doing a good job looking for her, really. I'm just basically talking to the soldiers as I'm walking downward. When entering the cave, take with thee a torch. So that's obviously very important. But we're not going to enter a cave anytime soon. That would be foolhardy with absolutely level 1 and nothing. No, you might not even survive to get to the cave. I'm serious. So we'll talk to the guards on the way out. Welcome to Tantagle Castle. And the other one says, welcome to Cantagle Castle. Now we will walk out and you get to hear the beautiful, beautiful overworld music for the first time. Absolutely exquisite. I love the overworld music in this game. Right now, you're not equipped with anything. You have no shield, no sword, no armor. Walk to the town immediately. The town that is just to the east of you. So yes, we're going to bum rush you with even more music right away. And I'll probably replay some of these during the course of the review, just for the sake of, just so you get to hear it again if you want, or maybe you're not, but maybe you don't. But I've never heard anybody complain about that. So now we'll enter the town. I believe it's a guy at the entrance. I'm just kidding. Thou art most welcome in Breckenary. Nice, interesting town. So just go north right away. That's definitely, that's a guy at the entrance and a girl kind of close to a shop. It is a shop in ancient times with it's like a sword logo in front that shows that they sell like weapons and armor. Talk to the girl first. Enter the shop and speak to its keeper across the desk. Yep, and then you get the merchants, which are usually the chubbier looking guys with the green outfits, and I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of Zelda-like graphics, I guess, sort of, but it's not a Zelda game. We'll talk to him now. We deal in weapons and armor. Dost thou wish to buy anything today? Yeah, what dost thou wish to buy? See, right now, some people might think, why would you buy the bamboo pole? It's the weakest weapon in the game. Exactly, buy the bamboo pole. That way you can buy the leather armor. That's a super priority right now. So you have 120 gold. Buy the leather armor. So now you're down to, yes, and it's okay. It automatically gets equipped. So it's not like the other RPGs where you have to equip it. It automatically does get equipped. I wish I checked the difference, which, yeah, I wish I did. But, so basically my defense power is now 7 from what it was before. So my attack power is now 6 where I'm not equipped with anything. I'll check the difference from now on in the future because that's kind of important. My apologies. I believe your defense was at like 5 when you came. So now it's up like 2, approximately 2 or 3. That's my belief, yes. So it's at 7 now. And I can look that up again later where every item has a specific defense point, whatever, to it. So now we'll buy the bamboo pole for a lousy 10 gold. And we'll save up for the club. Let's just do, for me, you want to do everything gradual. Because if you try to go way ahead with one and not the other, you're going to struggle and get frustrated. So buy the bamboo pole for a lousy 10. And our attack power, I believe, is going to go up 1 point, right? Oh, it went up 2. Ooh, that bamboo pole is tough. Otherwise, later on, we're going to save up for a multitude of items. Well, I guess it's a multitude. The club, which is 60, so you only need to save up 20 more gold to get it. And then ultimately, much later, the copper sword, which is 180. Screwing around with the bamboo pole to get to 180 is stupid, so don't bother. Otherwise, buying the club at 60 and not being able to afford the leather armor is also not the smartest decision necessarily. So, yeah, that's kind of my strategy here. So, I don't know. And in a way, it's kind of a fun way to play the game, I guess. Maybe I didn't have to do it that way, but I don't know. I kind of have fun going in order. Well, also, yeah, see, yep, and you sold your clothes for 10. So everything you were equipped with at the beginning drops, like when you automatically sell it for half the price. So like say if I were to buy the small shield at $90, 90 gold anyway, it would be sold for 45. So that's kind of how that goes. And small shield is going to be your last priority, but you will definitely want that at some point. Absolutely. You want all of them before we get too far in the game. So are you ready for what I have to say? It's time to level build. Unless you want to walk around in the town, learn more about the story and what has happened. Like many warriors have crashed, many warriors who have been on the quest have perished. So they perished on the quest, unfortunately. So, yeah, you just kind of read a different storyline here and there. Talk to as many people as you want to learn more and more about the game. Otherwise, in my case, and in your case when you're done talking, kind of walk around in the overworld. Maybe the forest area, maybe the bluffs, I'll call them, where they're like kind of like higher hills. It slows you down a little bit, and of course the gray mountains will not let you pass at all. Otherwise, you'll run into blue slimes, red slimes, and drakes at this part, but mostly you're probably going to see blue slimes. The closer you are to the town, the further you venture away, like say to the south a little bit, you might run into some drakes. Otherwise, a little bit to the north, you might start running into some red slime, which are slightly stronger. And if you go too far, you might start running into ghosts, which I don't think you want to do that right now when you're this early in the game. It's not worth it. A lot of times you're going to hit slime and stuff with 1s and 2s at this stage. So with that, it's time to start level building to level 1, level 2, and obviously build up money. So that's what you're going to be doing quite a bit in this game. After level building for a little while, as I call it, you will get to level 2. You only need 7 experience to get there, so it only took me a minute here, basically. So, and it is also a little bit on the random side what you get. Like sometimes maybe you get less than average on this level, but then you might get more than average on the next level or the one after that. So now we've been, so they say thy experience increases, whatever. Courage and wit have served thee well. Thou hast been promoted to the next level. Thy power increases by 1. Thy maximum hit points increase by 7, and that's it. So no magic at all yet. But with the power increasing, your offense and defense increases. At least I believe so. Nope, the defense didn't go up this time, but it will in other cases when you gain a bunch of strength. So my attack power is now 9 instead of 8, and I now have 22 hit points instead of what I had before. I believe it was 17. So yeah. So that's where we're at right now. Still kind of level building, and anytime your hit points get low, go to the inn. Eventually, once you get the heal spell, though, you'll be able to heal for free, at least if you're around this area. If you're far away, you got to go to the inn. And unfortunately, further away, like say you're like a different inn in a different town, the further away you go, the inns are going to be more and more expensive. So make note of that as you continue forward, and I'll also tell you a way to find out where to. In fact, I'll go right now. You go in the castle to the king, like King Lorik, basically, back to where you were, back up in the castle, to the left, up the stairs, and talk to the king. Exploring the castle right now, you can, but you can only go so far because you don't have magic keys, and you won't for quite a while. So it's much later in the game. Talk to the king. He says, I am greatly pleased that thou hast returned, Paladino. Before reaching thy next level of experience, thou must gain 15 experience points, or 15 points. So basically do the math there. That would be 23. So that's when I'll get to level 23, or get to 23 experience points. I'll get to level 3. Will thou tell me now of thy deeds so they won't be forgotten? Yes. Thy deeds have been recorded on the Imperial Scrolls of Honor. Dost thou wish to continue thy quest? I'll say yes for now, of course, and we're going to keep saying that pretty much most of the time, unless, because you can always save state and come back, you know what I mean? Like, it's not really cheating here, especially if you're just screwing around. But you can also always say no to, and then move on with your night one way or another, night or morning or whatever you're doing, whenever you're playing this. But, yeah, that's kind of the case now, and that's how you gain levels, and that's how you find out how many experience points thy needs to get to thy next level. Take care and tempt not the fates, as the king tells you every time you walk away. Level build away, my friends. Level build away. During the course of the time that you're level building and such, you're also going to run into, or just anytime you're playing any level or anything, when you start getting closer and closer to, let's call it the danger zone, like your hit points are getting low, you'll notice everything turning red. So like you're, the status screen, maybe you're by the water, everything starts turning red. Basically the outlines where everything is normally white turns red. So that's where it's your cue to go to the inn or whatever in order to heal up and start the heck over. Well, not start the heck over, but continue with what you're doing. The inn close to town here in Breckenridge is only 6 gold. So right now 6 gold is a lot more than it is in just a few minutes, basically, when you get stronger and stronger and all that. Not a few minutes or a few hours, whatever the heck. It takes a little while to level build. And unfortunately, I'm back down to 50 gold now when I build up to 56. But 50 is better than 40, I guess. So, yay. So that's the whole thing. Keep fighting away. And when you finally reach 60 gold, it feels great. Go back into the town. Let's get the club. Again, I'll check for fun the status. Your attack power is 9. So let's see how good the club is. Talk to him about the club or whatever. Just talk, get everything started. Click on the club. Then I will buy the bamboo pole for 5 gold. See, so you're able to get rid of what you had for half the price return, basically. It is what it is. Is that okay? Yes, it's going to have to be. Don't still wish to buy anything more with 6 gold? I don't think so. No, I can go to the inn, I guess, but I don't need to at the moment. Check your attack power. It is now 11. Okay, gain 2 more attack power compared to the bamboo pole. That's good. That's progress. So now you might be able to fight a Draki or something. Woohoo. So for the fun of it, maybe kind of head to the south a bit. Just a little bit, because you can only go so far anyway, where it gets kind of hilly, so to speak. You're probably going to run into a Draki in here once in a while. So that'd be the next level monster from the slimes. And, well, I got a red one. But we'll just keep going from there and keep going from there. And now as I'm messing around, right away I get to level 3. So that's good. That didn't take too long. Power increased by 3, speed increased by 2, hit points increased by 2. Magic points increased by 5. Thou hast learned a new spell. So now we have a new avenue here to go to. We have a heal spell. That's a difference maker. So you don't even have to go to the inn anymore. Go inside the castle, like say you want to wrap the game up or you just want to heal. Go past the soldier that's kind of hanging around, on the right side. Keep going, to the right or to the south. And then you'll get an old man who's like behind a counter or something, basically is what it is. And talk to him. Palladino's coming was foretold by legend. May the light shine upon this brave warrior. And normally the screen flashes if you're playing an NES. For some reason on my current TV, the screen doesn't happen flash. Or maybe it's the emulator I'm using on the NES Mini. I'm not sure. But then you just use the heal spell. Fill up. Yeah, all the way up to level to 24 hit points, whatever. Talk to the guy again. And you got full magic. Isn't that great? So that's what you got to do. You don't have to go to the inn anymore necessarily. You can, but you don't have to. So it saves you a couple bucks here and there, as they say. And, either save the game or keep level building. And that's basically the whole situation. We'll see how long it gets to the next level. What the heck? I'm not going to do this every time, but what the heck? 24. So from 23 right now and 24 more, that, of course, would be 47. That's a weird number, but it works. 47 experience points for level 4 as you continue to get stronger and stronger, and now you already have a heal spell. Isn't that a wonderful feeling? Interestingly enough, occasionally you might even run into a Magi-Draki, not just a Draki, but a Magi-Draki in that lower area. You can see kind of a little cave off in the, to your left a little bit across a small mountain range. But that little area I was talking about where a Draki might be, a Magi-Draki popped up. If you're like level 3 or 4, just run, because you're not going to win that battle. You're not. Unless you at least have the copper sword. Then you might have a chance, a sporting chance. But at this stage with the club and the leather armor, you should be able to take on ghosts, I think, especially now that you have the heal spell. So you can maybe venture north a little further. Maybe you'll bump into some regular Drakis and some ghosts. But that's about as far as I go. If you see anything like a magician or a Magi-Draki, you gotta run. And eventually, yes, now another level up. This one's to level 4. Response speed. That's, of course, like your speed or agility up 2. So that's really nice. Hit points up by 7. Magic points up by 11. And another spell. You notice I said magic points up by 11. So now you have some serious stuff. So you also gain the hurt spell. So you could take on like a magician and stuff and have like a hurt battle. Just hurt back and forth with each other. I don't really recommend it. I say wait till you get maybe the maybe another level or 2, and possibly have the copper sword. Then you're guaranteed to win against magicians and Magi-Drakis. But you can take them on, I think, and especially having more magic points now, that helps with healing. But I don't know, if you're just sitting there desperate trying to heal all the time, that's not always fun. I try to stay away from the magicians because hurt can do up to like 10 damage, and at this point in the game, 10 is not good. Later on, it's nothing. But at this point in the game, 10? Oof. Watch out. And now they have a significant more magic points than you did before. Definitely utilize the guy in the castle that fills them up. The old man kind of to the right of the entrance a little bit, that type of thing. Yeah, fills it up for free. Yeah, utilize that big time. Now that you already have like 16 magic points, which is pretty good. So 31 hit points, 16 magic points at this stage. Go for it, eh? Though then again, I guess the amount can be a little bit random, but, generally speaking, I think this is where you first started getting a significant amount of magic points. Sometimes it's random. Maybe it's 9, 10, whatever. But, and then obviously they might take away some later on. It's kind of always like a payback, that type of thing. So it always kind of evens out in the end. Kind of like the stock market does sometimes. Like, wow, what a great gain. What a great day. And then the next day, oh, come on. That type of thing. When you do go back and get everything filled up, it's like amazing to look at. 31 hit points, 16 magic points. Wow. It's like you're a totally different character than you were just a couple levels ago. And for the sake of, for the heck of it, let's find out how many experience points to the next level. At this stage, I have 57 experience points. So I need 53. So it's a long way to go. That would be 110, so unless I'm an idiot and can't do math. But yeah, it's 110, so it's a little ways to get to level 5. You might even get the sleep spell, but maybe that's level 6. But yeah, so at least you're progressing in the game a bit, and feels good, to say the least. keep building up for now and get that copper sword and small shield. That's another 270 point gold total between the two. 180 for the copper sword, 90 for the small shield. But of course, that's all right in front of you. Well, I've reached 90 gold, so I guess I'm going to go get the small shield. Might as well just go for that now since I can afford it. And because you're saving all the way up for 180 to get the copper sword. So let's just get the shield. Defense power at the moment is 9. Let's see how much the small shield helps. It is definitely a difference maker considering you don't get the large shield until significantly later. And that thing is 800 gold pieces. And at the time that you get it, 800 gold pieces isn't considered all that expensive. It's kind of like a median, kind of like the small shield right now. 90 is like a median price. So I purchased the small shield. There's nothing to sell back because I had no shield at all. Unfortunately, now I only have 3 gold remaining. As for defense, it has gone up 4 points. That's pretty good. So attack and defense are now 13. Lucky, lucky. Well, let's gain some levels then. At the moment, I'm still level 4, but not all too far away from getting to that. I was able to defeat a ghost pretty easily, so that's kind of where we're at the point of the game where I'm at right now, level 4, with the club and the leather armor, and yeah, the small shield. Might be able to think about possibly moving a little bit further away and potentially battling magicians. Otherwise, we can consider going in the little cave where you go get the little stone tablet and all that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking next. One thing I've noticed is that the shield actually really helps with the hurt spell. And I guess it would make sense. You put your shield up to basically block. It's kind of like a little flame or something coming at you and you just push it away. And now during the course of time defeating the magician and other monsters along the way, I have now jumped up to level 5, which is a very good thing. Power increases by 4, speed increases by 2, maximum hit points by 4, magic points by 4. So not like spectacular numbers or anything, but at the same time, now's a good time to possibly go back to the inn, heal up a little bit, come back to the little cave where you basically go a little bit north of the castle and all that. You know, kind of like where you've been level building around with the ghosts and such. A very easy first little cave in the game where you pretty much just get the stone tablet from Erdrick. So yeah, get to hear what he has to say to his descendant, who is you. But like I said, back to the castle first, basically to kind of, heal up, restore your magic, all that cute stuff. Walk up to the king, you can save, of course, and find out how many experience points it's going to take you to get to the next level, level 6. Right now I'm at 112, and he is greatly pleased that I returned and all that cute stuff. I need 108. See how it goes up, 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 up? It's almost like double what you have each time. So we're talking, 220 from 220 experience points. But I believe at that stage, you'll get the sleep spell, which in some crazy people's minds, you could actually go and save the princess already with the sleep spell. If you're insanely lucky, you could put the green dragon to sleep and beat him. He wakes up, but I mean, you'd keep casting it. I don't know. I don't think you should tempt your fate, as the king would say, at level 6 versus a green dragon. We're talking way, way later before we even consider that. So now let's head to that cute little cave and get the cute little tablet and all that cute little stuff. It's not an item you keep or anything. It's an item you kind of read and kind of move on. Now, remember, you received a torch during the time you were in the castle. You'll only need that one torch. They do run out. Be careful. And then now you get to hear that interesting cave music for the first time. Ooh, at least level 1. I've always thought that music has a little charm to it, because it's kind of spooky, but not that spooky. But as you get further and further and further down in bigger caves later on in the game, ooh, yeah, it does get interesting. So what you do, of course, it's just a small amount of light around you, so it's a little bit disorienting at first when you're not used to it, but you should be fine. Just kind of work your way around, up, down, this and that, until you eventually get to a little treasure with a little treasure which will have the tablet in it. I guess you do go downstairs. I had a feeling, yeah. There's at least one more floor. So now you get to hear the level 2 song. Ooh. So yeah, it's a little bit slower and deeper. Ooh. So it's kind of you're descending deeper and deeper into Earth. Okay, that was a dead end and a big stupid mistake, I think, wasn't it? Oh no, it wasn't. I'm just a weird, confused guy who likes to figure things out the old-fashioned way, I suppose. And thankfully you do eventually happen upon it in basement level 2, we'll call it. Fortune smiles upon thee, thou hast found the tablet. The tablet reads as follows. I am Erdrick, and thou art my descendant. 3 items. It's almost like Moses talking to, like people way in the future, like King David or something. 3 items were needed to reach the Isle of Dragons, which is south of Breckenridge. Yep. I gathered these items, reached the island, and there defeated a creature of great evil. Now I have entrusted the 3 items to 3 worthy keepers. Their descendants will protect the items until thy quest leads thee to seek them out. When a new evil arises, find the 3 items, then fight. So it's kind of that simple, in a sense. That's kind of what we're going to slowly but surely do. Find the 3 items, but fight. And fight, sorry. But, of course, saving the princess is like a 4th thing that you end up doing before that, honestly, because you can't really continue in the game without her necessarily. I mean, you can, but that'd be kind of weird to do that, actually. So basically work your way back out and up and all that. There's no determined, I don't really need to tell you a map or anything. You just kind of work your way around until you figure it out, in a sense. In a lot of ways, it's kind of like being east and eventually work your way to northwest as you're going back out later on. That's kind of, generally speaking, how things go. We've got the tablet, or we've read the tablet, and it's just kind of a way to kind of have this feeling like, okay, I got that part done. Now I know what this quest is all about. So now you pretty much just keep level building and work your way to finally having 180 gold to get the copper sword, which will eventually, you just kind of slowly but surely work your way north after that to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And that oh so wonderful feeling has happened. 180 gold. You know what that means? Finally can get the copper sword. Attack power is 17 because of all that nice level building. Defense power is 14. Let's get that copper sword equipped and see how much stronger it is. Ooh, hoo, hoo. And of course there's guides all over the internet and all that that'll tell you how much it adds, but what the heck, it's fun to kind of watch it happen as well. Good part is you can actually sell something this time. 30 gold points for the club. Yay. That's so much. Anyhow, it'll get more and more as the game progresses. You go from 17 to 23 attack power, so now you're probably going to have a hell of a lot easier time taking on the magicians, the magidragis, and such. So level building will go faster and faster. It's just that everything costs more and more and more, and it takes longer and longer and longer to get to, it takes more and more experience points, isn't that? So it's all kind of relative. Just like inflation, and oh my god, now I'm making $22 an hour. Yeah, but it's still worth basically the 17 you were making, a couple years ago or something, because yay. It's kind of the same thing, As now we're getting closer and closer to level 6, running into scorpions for the first time. They're another character you can pretty much battle now with the copper sword, the leather armor, and the small shield. It's like, why the heck not? Magicians, scorpions, and all that. And when you're just, 15, 20 experience away, it doesn't take as long as it used to. But, again, there's going to be a bigger gap next time around when we go from level 6 to 7. So be prepared for that. I mean, heck, it was 108 difference here. But, you know, it is what it is. That's part of the joys of Dragon Warrior. And now, by the grace of God, we are level 6. Things finally taking place here. Thy power increases by 4. Thy maximum hit points increase by 3. Magic points increase by 4. So we did not get to sleep yet. It's level 7. Okay. Now I'm remembering a little bit more clearly. And of course the guides go on. I mean, heck, the level I always think about the most is level 15 when you get Return. Ooh, that way you can go back to the castle with just a quick cast of a spell. Of course, as long as you have enough magic points anyway. If you don't, well, yay, that does a whole lot. Let's go north before we heal up or whatever the heck we're going to do. It should be okay, yeah. Let's go north and see, like, the northwest a bit. That's, like, the next town in a lot of ways in terms of, like, weapons and armor and all that stuff. Just to see what we're kind of looking at for our next goals, basically, to level build if I ever get there. Because I keep running into Drakes and ghosts and all that. That's one of the other joys of the game. When you don't want to get attacked, you get attacked religiously. When it's like the game just knows. And then when you desperately want to level build, they don't attack you ever. Isn't that the nature of RPGs? And now we have arrived to the town northwest. Let's officially hear the name one of these days. One of the old men says many believe that Princess Gwaelin is hidden away in a cave. Well, she is. That is a fact. I forget which person actually tells you what town we're in. Garin, a wandering minstrel of legendary fame, is said to have built this town. Ooh, so you'll probably hear about him in Dragon Warrior 3, because that's Erdrick's quest. I have heard of one named Nestor. I've heard of such a one. Yep, that's somebody later on. I guess it's on the other side of town. There's a guy there. Where's the name of the town? It is said that the princess was carried eastward. Yes, that is accurate. So that is accurate. The princess was carried eastward. Yes. Welcome to, there we go, Garinham. Welcome to Garinham. May thy stay be a peaceful one. Okay, so now we'll finally go to the weapon shop. Deal in weapons and armor. Isn't that cute? So you get the copper sword, which is 180. The hand axe will be your next weapon, 560. The chainmail will be your next armor, which is probably the next thing you're going to buy, only 300, so that's not that much. Half plate is the next level of armor at 1,000, and also the $800 large shield that I just talked about, 800 gold anyway. So that's kind of what you're looking at: hand axe, chainmail, large shield, and eventually the half plate armor, and so on and so forth. So that's what we're looking at next in terms of building up and how much it's going to cost. So, and then eventually we will go eastward to the next town. And then, of course, ultimately later after that, probably south a bit to potentially fight the dragon, the green dragon, and all that, and possibly move to the next area. You might actually want to go to the next area before you fight the green dragon to get the broadsword. There I go, spoiler alert. The broadsword, that's the next weapon beyond the hand axe, which is probably going to be your better bet against a green dragon, because those are extremely tough monsters that are, a green dragon is actually really hard, even when you're very highly built, much later in the game with much, much better armor and weapons. Make note of that. So since we gained another level, let's go back to the castle, heal up, and see how many experience points it takes to get to the next level. Like, why the heck not, right? It's now, after being fully healed, 38 hit points and 24 magic points. Getting a little stronger, getting a little meaner. Yeah, that's the whole idea, right? It's the whole doggone idea. Before experience, now must gain 206 points. Now, because I got up to 244, from 220 to 244 on my way to the castle. 206, so that would make it, 450 for level 7. Well, need I say more? As you're out level building, like, say, kind of close to the town, it's okay to go south and cross the bridge and everything. Like, say, as you go south, cross the bridge. And, of course, this is where crossing the bridge means something. Like, you know how the old sayings are, like, oh, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. In Dragon Warrior, crossing the bridge often means you're going into a harder area. Or, say, if you're backtracking, you're going back to an easier group of monsters and such. Sometimes monsters linger close to the bridge as well if you get too close to it. Say maybe there's an area where it's a bunch of ghosts and stuff, but then you cross the bridge and start heading south a bit, you'll see, scorpions, magicians, magidrakes, and all that. But if you go too far south, you keep going south, be careful, because you might run into a skeleton. And if you're only, like, say, level 6, 7-ish, and have the copper sword and leather armor, you're probably not going to win that battle one-on-one. Probably not. You might get lucky, that kind of thing, but tempt not the fates. Get the heck out of there if you see a skeleton. That would be my strong recommendation until you get stronger with like a hand axe or chainmail or something. Chainmail, maybe you'll be able to hang in there defensively to defeat a skeleton, but crossing bridges in this game is a big thing. Like say if you keep going west, 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 yeah, it'll be the same thing. You'll start running into potentially skeletons, like scorpions, yes, but skeletons. And then eventually, much later, crossing the bridge is really dangerous. Especially if you really keep going south here. Like say you keep going south, maybe you're a little bit stronger, you can fend off the skeletons and stuff. Then you might start seeing wyverns and all that if you get close to the next bridge further south. No. Long way to go. You need like a broadsword and stuff and a half plate maybe to be able to hang on against guys like that. And eventually I was able to reach the crucial 300 gold amount. So now I'm going to head back to that Garenham up in the northwestern corner of Alfgard, which is this kingdom, this world, whatever. Let's go buy the chainmail. Play it safe. See, back in the day, it's like, say, you have an option to maybe save up and get the weapon first, the hand axe, and kind of risk defense and build up for the 300 and get the chainmail. I've learned over the years to play it safe. Go with the defensive item first, and then buy the weapon. I just think that seems to be a better policy, and you're gaining levels and all that anyway. The worst thing that could happen is you build up a lot of money, you suddenly get killed, and you're reduced to half of what you had before. Like, say you have 500, now you're at 250. And I don't know, that really sucks. It's just a big waste of time as well. So, huge waste of time. So, I forgot to check the defense before I didn't buy it yet, thank God. See, when you consider this, your attack power is 27, your defense power is 14. What do you think is a smart decision? Defense, folks, defense. Okay. Chainmail. Let's make a purchase. The chainmail has been purchased. Unfortunately, the leather armor is only 35 gold. But what are you going to do about it? It's old. It's really old. It's stuff. So now defense power goes from 14 to 20. Yeah, that's kind of crucial. Still significantly lower than attack power. But yeah, that's why you got to go on the defensive in this game. Damn it. Defensive first. And then you can venture a little bit further along without the fear of getting your butt handed to you. And, in gambling, hoping you're going to hit them hard enough to kill them first. Not smart, in my opinion. I used to make that mistake in the old days. As now I've gained another level to level 7. Nothing too exciting. Couple of hit points, couple of magic points, basically 2 and 2. But learned a new spell, which I believe is sleep, and yes it is. So learned sleep, and looks like no offense at all added. So it is what it is. Just kind of a gradual, but gained the sleep spell. So now I'm going to go put the dragon to sleep and win that battle already. No, we're not going to quite do that. Got to keep level building, get the hand axe and the half plate mail at the very least. But I think more like the the broadsword is more realistic. And once again, heading back to the castle to find out how many more experience it is to the next level. I know, maybe I'm getting kind of tedious like a broken record, but what the heck, might as well keep doing that. The next level is, so right now I'm at 453 from 450. 347 to go. So yeah, it's going to be a while. 800 experience points, just like we're going to get 800 gold to get to the large shield and get stronger and stronger and stronger. That's kind of the goal in this game. Just get stronger and stronger and stronger. And now I have reached enough money to buy the hand axe. So let's go for that. 582 gold, and it's of course 560. This is in Garenham, and I came in with 29 strength. Let's see how much better this winds up. Of course, you end up selling off the copper sword. It was nice while I had it for an extended period here. 90 gold, of course, half of what I paid for. It's just how it goes. I do not want anything more at the moment. We'll be saving up for the large shield next, or the plate armor. Large shield is 800. The plate armor is 1,000. Otherwise, the attack power now has gone from 29 to 34, so a significant jump. The next step we're probably going to look at, obviously as we're level building along the way, is the small cave that you notice, kind of close to the beginning, but of course like roundy, as you're saying. You have to kind of go around the mountain range, of course, from the beginning of the game, like the castle and everything. But of course, south a bit of Garenham, but not too far south, because the further south you go, if you were to cross that bridge, you're going to be running into some very dangerous characters. Even before you cross the bridge, it starts getting pretty tough. You might be looking at werewolves and Goldman, and possibly even Wyverns. So don't go too far south. Just hang around, as we just kind of edge ourselves. I actually recommend after buying that, if you have a little extra money, might as well stay at the inn. Maybe if you're considering going straight to the cave, which probably isn't the dumbest idea. It's a short little cave where you're going to get the fighter's ring, and I figure why the heck not. Level 7 and the hand axe should be able to take care of things. Nah, forget it. Save up until you get the, actually, level build until you get the Radiance spell, because it's such a valuable one. I've also pulled up the list thanks to Mike's RPG Center. There's the whole thing where it has the experience levels. So eventually we're going to get Radiant after level 9. And you're going to want, you'll be having 1,300 experience points to get there. So it is what it is. So save up until you get to level 9. The Radiant spell, that way you don't have to use torches. So that's that's the reason why I'd often like screw around forever. Sometimes I'd even be like way too strong. They're like way further in the game and like, oh, I forgot to go get the little fighter's ring, which I guess supposedly increases your excellent attack rate. Which I guess it's believable because it did seem like you have more excellent attacks. It doesn't officially show anything, but that's probably what it is. It's called the fighter's ring. And, it's a cave where the monsters get a little bit tougher than, obviously, that previous cave where you first got the stone tablet, which isn't an actual item that you carry. It's just that you read it. And, yeah, very, very easy one. The cave where the fighter's ring is, not too much worse. And if you need a map, go ahead and use that. Otherwise, it's pretty much just south of Garenham and all that. So, and again, not too far south. So, basically, how to get there. Just to kind of, you cross the bridge going down, heading south, southeast, so to speak. Keep going down, you get to the mountain range, and you see like a kind of like poison puddle or poison, stuff, basically. Just stay away from that. It's like a black puddle, basically. Stay away from that, and just kind of keep heading towards the east. And eventually, obviously head towards the east as soon as you get to that poison puddle. If you walk above it or walk below it, but keep heading east, and then ultimately go into the cave. So basically, anything further south is not wise. South and all that, you'll end up possibly fighting dangerous stuff. I'm already fighting skeletons, and they're still not that easy, even with the hand axe. They're still hitting me with 7s and such. So again, you're going to be fighting monsters like that in the fighter's cave, so you're probably better off, again, level building to level 9, and by then you should at least have the large shield or even the plate armor, half plate armor, that is, by the time you get to that part of the game. So it'll be much easier rather than tempting your fate, as the king would say. So press on, press on. And I've just reached level 8, which is always a nice thing, I suppose. Power increases by 3, speed increases by 3, hit points by 6, magic points by 3, and no spell. Woohoo, but at least it's something. Still building up to get that large shield or half-plate armor. And now I have made up to 849 gold. I'm going to go get the large shield. So we're going to go to Garenham now, get the large shield. Defense power is 24. Apparently the large shield and the half-plate armor both gain, I believe, 6 defense. So might as well get the cheaper one first and kind of go from there. After this, though, well, 1 second. Let's buy it first before I continue here. Large shield, 800 gold. Yes, you'll buy the small shield for a lousy 45. I know. It's going to take forever to get to 1,000, but welcome to Dragon Warrior, folks. Oops, I'm done buying stuff. So 24 to 30. Yep, that's 6. So now you're getting closer and closer to the attack power of 37. And the next item we're going to get is going to be the half-plate armor. We're going to actually work our way towards the east in terms of this, though, from here on. It's nice to kind of hang out here, I guess, for, the inn's cheaper and you're kind of sort of close to everything. Okay, fine. We'll just stay here for the half plate armor. Maybe buy the full plate armor in the next town. Might as well stay here. Kind of a on-air production meeting, I suppose. So yes, stay, I guess, relatively close to Garinham. Eventually we're going to go to Cole, I believe is the name of the next town, to the east, which eventually will lead to the cave and all that stuff. But yes, that's where we're going to get the next few items or so. But first we'll hang around here and build up to 1,000 gold to get the half plate armor. Also, though, as soon as we get to level 9, which at this stage that I'm building up, it's about 250 experience to go or so before we get there. When you get the radiant spell, then we could finally go into the little cute cave with the fighter's ring. So yeah, I guess hang around this area. And now I've finally reached level 9, which should mean I'm getting the radiant spell. Power increases by 8. Yeah, this is when you have the huge breakthrough. Power increases by 8. Isn't that great? Response speed by 1. Maximum hit points by 4. Magic points by 7. And the new spell is radiant. So it's a huge breakthrough at this part of the game. I recommend going to the inn, basically, so you have full power. 1,300 experience points anyway. And now, according to Mike's RPG Center, the next level is 2,000. So, and you'll get the stop spell, which I guess can block magic spells from opponents, say like the obnoxious hurt spell. But I don't think I've ever even used that. It's just, it is obnoxious how hurt can do like 10 damage from a character like a Magidraki or something that can hit, that'll normally hit you with like a 1 or 2 at this stage of the game, but they can still do an annoying amount of damage if they do cast hurt. So keep that in mind. It's annoying, but it is what it is. Now we're gonna eventually head to the cave where you could call it the Fighter's Ring Cave. Basically, we're gonna head down there. If you need a map, you go ahead and use it. Otherwise, you're just kind of going south of Garinham for a little bit, until eventually you're kind of walking around a poison swamp, as they call it, the black poison swamp to the east. And eventually, like, the little mountain range will kind of tighten up, you know, it'll kind of close in a bit, and then there's a cute little cave. So head on in to go for the fighter's ring. And in the cave we go, and we get that cool music again. Ooh. Now, of course, now that we've got the cool music established, use the spell Radiant. You'll notice how much more a range is opened up now versus the torch. This cave is going to be a bit larger, but it's not that big. It's not like, oh my god, but kind of work your way around. If you need a map, go ahead. This cave should be fine even without one. Just kind of figure your way around and all that. You're probably going to see some new monsters that you haven't seen before that you only see in dark caves because that's just how they are. At the beginning, you're running into mostly ghosts and magicians and stuff, but it'll get interesting as we pursue our way through this cave, or persevere. And it certainly does feel like you get attacked a lot here. It really does, but most of the monsters aren't that tough. Pick up any and all treasures you get along the way. I do believe you're going to run into something called the Cursed Belt at some point. Do not equip it. Do not equip it. Okay? So basically what you do is sell it when you get the chance. Now we're getting our first new monster, a droll. A droll. And there'll be higher levels of drolls as you get further and further. You can definitely tell it's the kind of character that would be in a dark cave versus out in the overworld, because it's kind of got that funny looking look, you know, like that big little eye, like bug eyes coming out of its head. Yeah, they're not too hard, so don't be like, oh my god, it's a droll. No, they're not really hard. And again, there are harder levels of them as you get further in. Just like there's actually multiple levels of ghosts and all that as well. I think you will see a level 2 ghost in here at some point as you get further and further down, because this is kind of a medium-sized cave. You even find a torch along the way. Woo, but you're not going to need it. Just, oh well. And I did find the fighter's ring already. I'm surprised, actually, how quickly I found it. So basically what you do here, what you do is go to it and press the button on it, like press item, basically. Paladino put on the fighter's ring. So now it's on. If you do find something called a cursed belt, Again, don't click on it. Just basically go to the store and sell it. Just leave it where it is. Don't do anything because it will slowly squeeze you and damage you and damage you and damage you, and you need to have a curse lifted, and it'll cost a lot of money. Whereas you could probably sell it for that same amount of money that it would have cost you. So, yeah, it's basically instead of spending $1,000 on something, you make $1,000 off it. So that's a $2,000 difference. Of course, I don't think it's 2,000 or anything in this game, but it's still either way. Common sense. You'll also notice that I'm going to picking up a treasure real quick. Yeah, okay, press the wrong button. Stupid. You'll also notice that your radiance starts to dissipate once it gets to be about the size of what a torch would be, which is just like one block around you each way. Hit radiant again, and it'll expand. It drops off over time. Build it up once it gets to that torch size, basically. Oh, and a warlock? What's that doing down here? Whoa, and they can cast sleep on you. What's a warlock doing down here? They're not super hard, but it's a little scary at first. They're on the other side. Yeah, I beat it easily, so that's actually encouraging that I could take care of a warlock. It's just a little scary at first when you're not expecting it. So, yeah, you will get some higher level and a Drakima, so that's the level 3 Draki. I should be able to beat it. Unfortunately, those can heal, so that's really annoying. They're like a white color. I hit with an excellent move and missed. Don't you just love that? So, yeah, that's so stupid. It does happen sometimes. And late in the game, when you're fighting against something really tough, like a Magic Dragon or something, or Star Dragon, that is insanely frustrating. But, yeah, try to keep your hit points high if you can. And I forgot to heal and ran into a warlock, and I'm still asleep. Great. Stupid idiot. Press the buttons aggressively. Eventually, that might help you wake up. That's another thing I can suggest. Unfortunately, the obnoxious hurt spell is always what it is. Really, the only difference from a warlock and a magician, it's just obviously it's a little stronger. Of course, he's stronger in terms of hit points. Like he has more hit points, but also he can put you to sleep. So it's mostly the hit points and the sleep. His physical strength is still weak. Like he'll still hit you with a 1 or 2 if he doesn't cast hurt. So he's just hitting you with a staff, which is like, meh. But we're pretty much done here. Try to work your way out. I guess I didn't find any cursed belt here, but maybe you will eventually if you mess around enough. And right as I'm saying it, basically, here it is. Yeah, I'm just kind of, it's kind of like in, when you're in like the level 2 basement, so to speak, work your way to the, this has got to be it. Nope, actually it was 108 gold. That's even better. Forget the cursed belt. If I find it, I find it. I don't know. But, yeah, you can mess around and look, use a map or anything. Otherwise, we're pretty much done here, and we'll try to move on. And I did finally run into a poltergeist. Cool, so that's the level 2 ghost. They're kind of like a purple color with a green hat. Kind of look cool. But you won't see these in the overworld ever, only in caves. Caves or whatever, dungeons, whatever the heck you call these things. So, yeah, another one of those dark cave level thingies. Much later, there'll be a specter, which is like a blue ghost. Ooh. Another new monster, a druin. So cool, kind of, I don't know, a druin. It looks more like a squid on the land or something. But they're not too hard either. So I'm getting really low on magic points, which was a surefire sign to get the heck moving. I would highly recommend, because you do not want to get stuck where you can't see. If you can't see, you're kind of screwed. The cool part about it is I've escaped the cave now. Eventually, later on, you can get an outside spell, so, I don't know, as long as you don't get too low in magic, you can exit the level quick enough. And also, there's wings in stores, too. That actually works just like the return spell, which is nice. That way you could actually fly all the way back to the main castle and save and all that cute stuff and heal for free and all that. So, those are options. Some towns, yeah, and like item shops sell wings. So now we're going to kind of try to progress to the game where eventually we get the half-plate armor. Actually, I could afford it right now. I've already had 1,000 gold from all that messing around in the cave, which surprisingly didn't take that long. So I'm actually really happy about that. Let's get some half-plate armor, and yeah, everything will be a little bit easier and another step forward. And after doing a little more research, apparently, yeah, when you get to, well, you can obviously click on the items, Mike's RPG Center. The item you could find in that mountain cave is what it's called, where the fighter's ring is the cursed necklace, but it's really hard to find, I guess. They say small chance of finding one in a chest in the mountain cave. You could mess around, maybe as you get higher and higher levels, but maybe it's some kind of luck thing. But if you sell it, you get 2,400 $100. So that's a huge, huge boost at this part of the game. I mean, huge. So it'd be cool, but obviously do not wear it. Do not click on it because it'll cost you a fortune to take it off, which would be the dumbest thing ever. So the cursed belt apparently is in Garen's grave, which is in this Garenham, basically the town we're in now. But you don't want to go there yet. That cave is way the frick harder than the mountain cave. So I mean, way harder. So you're not thinking about that until much later in the game. It's like the third last level maybe per se in the whole game. Otherwise, we're going to finally purchase the half plate armor. Let's just get that going up. Let's back up here. Let's look at the stats. I'm pretty sure you're going to get 6. Yep, so 31. Right now my attack power is 45. My defense power is 31. So it's funny how that keeps jumping up the attack, but that's okay because I gained 8 attack. Half plate armor, 1,000 gold. I have 1,205 at the moment. And I'll get 150 for the chainmail. Ooh, that's good money, man. Not really. But I have something left over at least. Woohoo. Defense is now up to 37. So, okay, it's something. It's 6 points, right? Because it wasn't at 31. So, 6 point jump. So, all right, good. Large shield and half plate armor in tow with the hand axe. It's getting a little better. You're starting to look like an actual warrior now. Now I recommend, honestly, go back to the castle, heal for free rather than even heal at the Garenham. We won't need to come back there for a long time for that major level we're going to do later on. One of the tougher ones. It's a very big cave, and you start fighting some serious monsters in there, let me tell you. So now the next step we'll do, we're going to go north a little bit to get around the actual mountain range above the castle. And yep, we're around that. Now head to the east, head to the east, head to the east. We're going to go across 2 bridges. Of course, right now we're running into slimes and wasting our time with that. Hopefully they just run away and leave you alone, because what's the point? Yay, I gained 1 experience point. Isn't that just awesome? So you cross the first bridge, things will get slightly tougher, probably like Drakis and stuff. Yeah, that's exactly what just ran into me. Yay, and kill them in 1 hit at this point, I would hope, with a hand axe. It's like killing a mosquito with an axe, right? Eventually you'll get the repel spell, and there's also sweet water you can get in the game too, which is inexpensive. And the repel spell, that's when you can literally just walk through these kind of areas. It's annoying to waste magic points, but oh well, it's not too many. And it's less annoying to not be bothered every couple seconds you walk, because when you don't need to get attacked, that's when everything attacks you. It's just irritating. So it takes like 5 times longer to get to somewhere you want to go. Even in a one-on-one battle when you can kill them in 1 hit, it's still in it, and it's still a nuisance. Just go away. Dang it. You cross the second bridge. Do not go south. Go northeast. Southeast, you're walking in the poison swamp, and eventually you're going to have to endure doing that, because the only time you can avoid really getting damaged by the poison swamp is when you have the Erdrick's armor, which is a little bit far away. So now you kind of go into the desert area and eventually get to a town. Maybe by the time you're about 50 years old, you'll get to the town after getting attacked 100,000 times along the way. The general monsters here, scorpions, skeletons, that kind of stuff. So similar to where we were south of Garenharm, as we like to call it. Or Garen, yeah. So I'll eventually get there. And what's really annoying is the town is actually above the mountain range. So as I was walking the desert, sometimes my memory just like blanks for a second. But yeah, you go north of the stupid mountain range while getting attacked 50,000 times along the way. And by the time you're about 65 years old and ready to retire from whatever you're doing, you'll finally get to the town, and you're just so happy. But now you need a cane or a walker to even get around the town because you've aged so many years to get here. Okay, speaking of guys with canes, you have arrived at the village of Cole, says the old man at the beginning, which is wonderful. And, you can talk to people around the game and all that. Somebody in another town will give you a hint that there is and they also warn you, dreadful is the South Island. Again, that's, great strength and skill and wit only will bring thee back from that place. Yeah, the further and further south you go, when you get to the cave and all that, is, it gets pretty serious. So we deal in weapons and armor. This one, there's no sign or anything. He has half plate and full plate armor along with the copper sword and hand axe. So eventually, when you get 3,000 gold, you're going to want to buy the full plate armor. And eventually, much later to the south, there'll be a town where you're going to buy the magic armor and the broadsword. Unfortunately, that's going to be insanely expensive. You get to a area that I guess is like a little water in the middle of a room type of thing. The lady says this bath cures rheumatism, so basically it cures arthritis. But yeah, you have no really way of doing anything about that. So the trick here is, and you'll hear this as a hint in another town, but you can get it now and save time. But you'll hear about it as a hint from another character in like a later town. Walk south a few steps, so basically you're one step in front of it automatically. 2, 3, 4, I believe. And then search, you're kind of like in the trees. And Palladino discovers the fairy flute, which will literally save you from a golem much, much, much later in the game when the castle town, or it's kind of like a castle town, basically, where you're fighting, where you're able to get the flame sword and the silver shield, the two most expensive items in the entire game. You'll also walk up to, if you go to the west a tiny bit, in the far northwest corner of the village of Cole, there's a poison swamp thing. Go ahead and walk over it. I know it's stupid and pointless. Talk to the old man. He says, "Thou art as brave as thy ancestor. Palladino cannot defeat the great Dragon Lord with such weapons. Thou shouldst come here again." So, what's ever happened with him, I'm not sure, because I've come to him no matter what weapons or armor I have, and nothing changes. I think the trick is, maybe once you have the Erdrick's armor, you can walk across the swamp and not get hurt. I don't know, but I never noticed him ever saying anything different, so your guess is as good as mine. So, yeah, that's the fun part. So at this point, I guess just level build and build up for the half-plate armor, and of course talk to the villagers if you want to. One soldier in the far southwest corner of the village says Rimuldar is the place to buy keys. So that's the next town south. They call it the South Island, so to speak, where you go in the cave and just go south basically and come out of the cave. And yeah, that's the cave across the swamp there, the poison swamp south of this town a ways. And then you get into the they call it the South Island or something basically, and Rimuldar is where you ultimately get the magic armor and the broadsword. So otherwise, for now, continue level building and enjoy. What's funny though is this part of the game is when you start really realizing how long it takes to gain levels and make money and such, and the monsters are a little bit easier now and all that with your better armor and your better axe, and you start getting kind of bored and wanting to take a little bit of a risk. So let's kind of try to do that, I guess. Let's walk through. Well, maybe before you do that, go heal up at the inn in the town of Cole, and then and then consider walking through the poison swamp to the cave and work your way down. It's kind of up to you what you want to do. The broadsword is 1,500 gold, which isn't all that much. So you could kind of hang around and save up, but eventually you're just going to get frustrated and bored thinking this is taking way too long. So consider possibly, especially if you have save state abilities. I know it is what it is, but a game like this, I don't feel bad save stating if it means hanging out in like a town area where you could kind of come back to it. You just kind of heal at the town and everything rather than having to go back to the castle every time, which is annoying as hell. But now we're walking through. So, of course, yes, use Radiant, even though it might seem silly considering how short this cave is. If you want to take on the dragon, let's leave that alone. We're not strong enough for that yet. But that's where you would go east a bit and work your way towards the door. But we don't even have a key to open the door yet. So just work your way south, 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 south in the cave until you kind of get to a wall, so to speak, and just kind of go around it, and then keep going south to get to the staircase, which will be right in front of you anyway. It's right in plain view. And then you will eventually come out after fighting a druid in this case. And, sorry, I'm whispering at the moment, but, well, not whispering, but talking too quiet. And then kind of work your way out, work your way west of the mountain range and the pond or little lake or whatever the heck it is. See, in this northern area, it's just Magidragis and stuff again, so it's not that dangerous. You go south a little bit, and then you're going to start running into stuff like wolves and warlocks, which I think, honestly, are beatable at this part of the game, except for that stupid sleep spell. But wolves and warlocks, you should be able to handle it with the fact you have the large shield and the half-plate armor. You have both. So, honest to God, what's really the problem? The inn, unfortunately, is expensive in Rimuldar. So, but just kind of hang out here. You'll gain levels faster. You'll make money faster. and you will eventually make enough to have the broad sword, eventually the full plate armor, and the magic armor, which is a lot of fun. So I'm fighting the wolf for the first time and holding my own. I hit him with 11 and he hit me with a 5. So yeah, once you start seeing numbers like that, 11 to 5, 12 to 7, you should be comfortable to be able to beat these guys. Especially, it's worth it when you consider the wolf gives you 47 gold and 16 experience points. That's way more than the junk you're getting from the scorpion. Again, work your way south a bit and then eventually east when you get to the little mountain range. Underneath it, of course, and then you'll see Rimmuldar, which is now on a peninsula around kind of a lake kind of type of thing. It's basically a small little lake, and you go into the town, and you're like, yes, thank you, Lord. But really, the monsters here aren't that scary anymore now that you have both the large shield and the half-plate armor. So, yeah, I should have probably done this a little bit sooner, but oh well. Now you can level build here, heal at the inn, and if you have save state ability in this day and age, you probably do. But if you're playing with the NES cartridge, okay, that's fine too. It's up to you how you want to do it. If you're playing with the NES cartridge and everything and you don't want to use save states, then you'll want to buy some wings at any of the towns that sell them, where you can warp back to the castle when you need to save and end the game. Obviously, you can still hang out here and heal the whole time you're level building, but when you want to be able to save the game, you'll need to use the wing to go back to the castle. Simple, right? So level build away, my friends. Another monster you're going to run into that's basically new compared to what you've been fighting is a metal scorpion. Luckily, their offense isn't so great. So, if you at least you have like the half plate armor, you're level 9. They're only hitting with 4s, it seems like, from what I've noticed. They have a little bit of defense, but as your offense continues to get stronger and stronger, especially once you're able to get the broadsword, which I'm almost at, and of course maybe almost level 10 as well, it's just going to gradually get easier and easier. The wolf seems to be the biggest threat at this point. They can hit you pretty hard. Obviously, they've been hitting with 8s a lot, which is not exactly a gentle hit. So, yeah, watch your health meter as much as possible. Run when you have to, and pray for the best. Did I say health meter? Well, hit points, but I guess health meter, nah, it's hit points. But, yeah. And thankfully, level 10, here we come. A few hundred gold points, or gold, whatever, before being able to afford the broadsword. But level 10 hath come, thank God. Power increased by 4, speed increased by 8. That it will be very helpful for so many reasons. Hit points up by 4, magic points by 4. Thou hast learned a new spell, and that spell is Stop Spell, which I've used maybe once or twice in my life, but some of you might use it to stop hurt or hurt more later on from being used against you from wizards and such. But I don't know. I just never got in the habit of using it, I guess. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. It's a thing. Either way, to get to the next level, we're talking 900 more experience points. So 2,900 experience points. No spell there, but after level 12, you get outside. And after level 13, you get the ultra valuable return spell. So that's going to be really nice back-to-back levels. But that's 5,500 experience points to get to level 13. So, well, as exciting as it'll be when it happens, let's not put the cart before the horse. It's only 3,500 experience points to go. So let's just get the stinking broadsword already and move on with the game, kind of, sort of. And now I have the cherished 1,500 gold, so the well sought after, should I say. Right now my attack power is 49 before equipping the broadsword, which is a pretty good turning point in the game. Getting the broadsword is a big deal, honestly. 1,500, and of course we will get 280 for the hand axe. Isn't that wonderful? And he thanks me and all that good stuff. So, yep, well, it goes from 49 to 54 attack power. Well, it's something. It's definitely a difference, and you will notice it. Now the next thing to get is the full plate armor and ultimately the magic armor. It might seem lame buying the full plate armor before buying the magic armor, when you consider the defense actually doesn't improve. The only difference from the full plate to the magic is that magic gradually heals you. But it's actually a very effective way to do the game because you're level building at the same time, where it's all kind of a gradual thing. It might seem lame, but it actually makes sense, and the game tends to progress a lot better rather than level building forever to get the magic armor or first, or I'm just getting the full plate armor, not having the magic armor. I'd rather have the magic armor where you can heal a little bit when wandering around in a town and such. So it is what it is. Erdrick's armor at the end of the day is what we really want, but we can't survive to get it right now. We would not survive beating an axe knight to get that, because we couldn't even survive battling a knight right now. He would thrash us at level 10 and a half plate armor or whatever. He would absolutely thrash us. So that's just the way it is. For now, just keep doing what we've been doing and keep level building, like it or not. And as of now, I've reached level 11. Power increases by 5, speed increases by 4, hit points increase by 8, magic points increase by 10. That's huge. Eventually, yeah, because I'm getting closer and closer to being able to afford the full plate armor, and by that time, you can start heading south. Because I know one of the one of the people in the town says basically don't travel north. The monster or south part of me, the monsters are fierce and terrible. I'd like to find that exact character and read exactly how they say it. Also, there's a very important character as well that says, well, there's multiple very important characters in here. Important message anyway. One of the soldiers says, "Thou shalt find the stones of sunlight in Tantagel Castle." Yeah, that's exactly, like our home. Yep. If thou hast not found them yet. Yep. Yes, we'll get to that much later. Yes, much later. So it's going to be a bit, I believe, inside it's inside one of the little houses. Yep, the person says, "Heed my warning, travel not to the south, for there the monsters are fierce and terrible." Exclamation point. Yes, very true. So, yes, they are fierce and terrible, but once you're able to get the full plate armor, you can do that, and plus there's some very valuable, you gain levels faster, you make money faster, and there's a character called a Goldman, which is with no relation to Ron Goldman. Too soon? No, it's a long time ago. But yeah, no relation to him, and they can give you up to 200 gold, like 150 to 200 gold. Very little experience points, like 4 maybe, but you can raise money very quickly battling Goldman. Pretty cool. Now that I've officially gotten to 3,000 gold, time to go back to Remulidar. Eventually, we're going to finally buy some magic keys as well. We talked about the guy with the stones of sunlight and all that, and the lady that says she has no tomatoes for sale today. So I guess I can't make a salad or shaletas or anything fun like that. Another soldier I should mention does talk about the scales of the Dragon Lord are as hard as steel, which is kind of a hint to swords aren't going to work on him, except for Erdrick's sword. Otherwise, you will cause no damage to the Dragon Lord. His defense is insane, by the way, just so you know. At least once he turns into a dragon itself. Now we'll get finally get the actual armor. My defense right now is 43. My attack power is 59 at level 11. Woohoo, woohoo. And now we're going to finally buy the full plate armor. And again, make note, magic armor has no higher defense. It just heals. 7,700 gold to get that, and I do recommend kind of just buying everything slowly but surely. It's kind of a more efficient way of level building in a lot of ways. See, that way you don't kind of rush, like say you get one or the other and then rush towards getting the flame sword and get your butt handed to you, because the monsters are going to be much harder by the time you get to we have to walk past Hawk's Nest and all the way to the kind of castle town that has the flame sword and the silver shield. Obviously, the expense is insane. 9,800 for the flame sword, 14,800 for the silver shield. Two of the greatest weapons in the game, but, well, actually the second best sword and the best shield in the game. But, of course, if your levels aren't really that high at that stage, you're going to have a hell of a time. Just, again, make note of that. So, let's get the darn armor real quick. I'm having short-term memory loss here. There we go, 43. Okay, yeah, 59 and 43. My long-term memory is really good. My short-term memory is kind of funky. So 43 defense, we'll buy the half-plate armor, blah, blah, blah. I'll get 500 gold back, which is not much, but it is what it is. It is now up to 51, so it went up, it being the defense, went up by 8 points. 8 points. So now we can feel confident to walk a bit south, further south, where the monsters are indeed fierce and terrible. But we should be able to handle it. So instead of wolves, we're going to be fighting wolf lords, goldmen, which will help you make money a lot faster to get your silver shield and magic armor and all that. Magic armor, and eventually your flame sword and silver shield. and all that good stuff. Magic armor is number two armor in the game, just behind Erdrick's armor, which heals much faster and is much stronger defense. And of course, the silver shield is the best in the game, but that's all later on. So now we will be fighting the real mean guys south of the town of Rimildar. The whole key also, when you know you're getting into the tougher area, is crossing the bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah, so cross the bridge when you get there. There's no real point to go down into the, down the stairs into the, I guess you could say, cave or basement. Oh yeah, and Wyverns, that's the other monster you're going to be fighting now, which are probably a little bit on the meaner side than you might be ready for, but we'll give it a shot. Wyverns, there's a good chance you're going to run into rogue scorpions. I just hit the Wyvern with a 14 and got hit with a 9. So it's going to be kind of a back and forth with these guys. Wyverns are really serious. They're kind of like a teenage dragon, basically. That's basically what a Wyvern is. Like a Draki's a baby dragon. A Wyvern's like a teenage, and then a dragon is a dragon. I don't think you run into green dragons down here. No. But, yep, so Wyverns, Wolf Lords, which aren't that hard, actually. And they give you 20 experience points and I think like 70 gold, so they're kind of worth it. See, I just killed him very easily, so 60 gold, but that's kind of like a roll the dice type of thing. You can go down the stairs, but you'll pretty much be turned away because you don't have the items you need to, do what they want. For bleeps and giggles, I am going to go down and talk to the old man anyway, just to see what he says, and it's, "In thy task thou hast failed. Alas, I fear thou art not the one Erdrick predicted would save us. Go now." And you don't even have an option. You're out. Isn't that nice? So, yeah, eventually you'll be okay. You get the Sunstone. So basically, that's where you go, I believe, to get the, once you get the Sunstone and the Staff of Rain, then he can make the Rainbow Bridge to cross over to where Sharlock Castle is for the Dragon Lord. So that's the end of the game and stuff. So we're not quite there yet. Watch your hit points all the time, all the time. When you start to get low on magic points and all that stuff, and you can't, you're not going to be able to heal a whole lot much longer. Start heading north back to the town quickly. There's another monster you're going to run into as well that's new, a Wraith. So it's kind of like a stronger version of the skeleton that can heal. They're not that bad, but they can heal, so they're going to be a little bit on the irritating side. Wyverns, I think, are a little bit on the overly strong side, I think, to be able to fight them regularly. You can go at it, but be careful, that type of thing. I'd say gain another level or two and all that. It's at this point it's levels. I mean, the next armor with a stronger defense is going to ultimately be the it's going to be Erdrick's armor. I think one thing that is actually better with the magic armor is magic defense is better as well. So say somebody casts hurt more, magic armor is more likely to protect you than the regular full plate. But again, that's why this is all a build up. It's all about a build up. That's pretty much what this whole game is. For the record, to get to level 12, you need 4,000 experience points. So it's 1,100 more than what you got at 11. 29 to 4,000, and then 13 is 5,500. That's when you get the return spell, and that's going to be awesome. Looks like level 12, though, you get 7 to 8 strength and 7 to 8 magic points. So, okay, that's going to help. Level 12 is going to be a good one. You get the outside spell, too. So say you're trapped or you're kind of lost in a cave, you don't know where the heck you're going, and your hit points are going down, 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 which probably is going to happen when you go to the grave of Garin or whatever in Garinham. You might need the outside spell there once or twice just for, just to be on the safe side, let me tell you. Now I'm fighting a Goldman for the first time and, faring very well, hitting with something around 12-ish. He's hitting me back with around 5. His reason attack only hit with a 1, so that's always a wonderful thing once you get to the full plate armor and all that. So you get almost no experience points, 6 in this case, 178 gold though in this case as well. It's kind of random, anywhere from 150 to like 199 in gold, and I think experience points gives to like maybe like 9-ish, maximum 9, maybe 10. But fighting a Goldman's exciting until you eventually no longer need money. But yeah, but for quite a while, we're going to need these Goldmen. They really make a difference. You don't get far with experience, but again, you can raise your money much quicker. It's a random attack, so it's not like, you're like searching for Goldmen, but they are around in this specific area, this lower peninsula or island or whatever the heck it is, when it comes to, battling, battling monsters and such in order to continue and progress in the game. I'm also realizing one thing. So before you actually get to the bridge, like say there's there's an area before you get to the bridge, as things kind of like narrow a bit, maybe like a triangle shape area, so to speak, kind of like the southern area, the southern like big piece of land where Remuldar is, the town. You start fighting wolf lords and goldmen and stuff there. See, when you cross the bridge, then you potentially run into wyverns. I haven't noticed any wyverns in this southern, pre-bridge area, like north of the bridge, so to speak, if you understand what I'm trying to say. It's probably a safe area where you will get stronger monsters to level build with, but at the same time, you won't get your butt handed to you by wyverns, because they're the ones that can kill you. So make a little note of that. And now we have officially reached level 12. Amazing feeling. Courage and yeah. Thy power increases by 7. Come on, man. Just kidding. Response speed increases by 8. Maximum hit points by 1. Magic points by 8. And we have a new spell called Outside. It's not outside. It's outside. You have to have the Canadian accent. Otherwise, it's... Okay, yeah, it's outside. But, one more and we can get the coveted Return spell. Ooh... Unfortunately, it's going to be, how many? 5,500 experience points to get there. So about 1,500 to go. Whoopee. And now I eventually have gotten up to the 7,800, basically. You only need 77, but you get the idea. Always, again, if you're going to go to the inn first, make sure you have enough money left over because it's 55 gold. So, yeah. Again, the magic armor does not change your defense power, but it does protect you from magic. Stronger than, say, the regular full plate armor did. And also, again, this is setting up perfectly for when you build up your money to 9,800 to buy the flame sword, that you'll have the return spell by then. Because when you're that far away, you're going to want the return spell, or the other cheaper route is wings. But yeah, you can always have wings. They can take you back as well. But getting to level 13, there's definitely a pride to that. It feels good. You're getting much stronger and all that. So... Now, at this stage of the game, I do have the magic armor, the broadsword, and the large shield. So, the second best armor, believe it or not, the second best shield, even though it was only 800 gold compared to a 14,800 gold silver shield coming up much later as we level build until hell freezes over. And then eventually we'll take on the green dragon. I even literally advise to go as far as to get the flame sword before even taking on the green dragon to rescue the princess. It's just the way it is. The green dragon's not a joke. You can put him to sleep with the sleep spell and kind of gamble that way, and sure, you might win, but it's not easy. Luckily, you have a flute now. When you eventually do build up enough money to go to potentially get the flame sword, that'll put the golem to sleep, and if he wakes up, just play the flute again. But again, we'll literally cross that bridge and several bridges once we get there. For now it's time to money build again and level build to up to level 13, obviously, and then of course the 9,800 gold to get the flame sword in the far, far away town that we will be talking about very soon. Also, the official things that are different with the magic armor from the full plate armor, it's basically, it restores 1 hit point for every 4 steps you take and officially reduces damage from hurt and hurt more by 1/3. Erdrick / Lodo's armor, which I like Lodo more. It also does reduce damage from hurt and hurt more by 1/3. It prevents stop spell from working against you. It also reduces damage from flame breath attacks by 1/3 as well. So the flame breath is extremely crucial in the final battle, but there's a ton of dragons in that level as well. It is incredible. It restores a lost hit point for every single step you take. So it heals 4 times faster actually than the magic armor, which will heal gradually. You can kind of wander around in a town. Like say you're just kind of wandering around in a town. Maybe you're hurt just a kind of a little bit, not too bad, maybe, or you're like half your hit points are gone, and you're wandering around chatting with people. All of a sudden you'll notice your hit points are full. But with Erdrick's armor, it's way, way, way faster. It'll heal as you're level building, literally wandering around on the overworld. And it also prevents you from taking damage when you walk in the poison swamp. So, Erdrick's armor is the greatest of all time. That'll be in a deserted and destroyed town of Hawksnest, which we will talk about not too long from now. Little ways, I suppose. You're going to get the flame sword and probably the silver shield first, because the axe knight is freaking hard. He's a level harder than the regular knight, who is probably still too strong for your character at this stage. Or maybe, just maybe, you can take him on now, I would hope. Especially by the time you get to level 13, 14-ish, you should have a legitimate chance to take on some of those really, really tough guys who are still a level or two below, or a tier, I should say, below when things get really interesting. When we're talking star waverns, magi waverns, green dragons, and then there's a level even beyond that with blue dragons and red dragons and magi knights and golems and stone golems. Pardon me. Woo-wee. Yep. So yeah, there's some really tough stuff coming. Just you watch. But of course, again, that's why level building is so important in this game. And along the way, I've eventually made it to level 13. Hallelujah. So 5,500 experience points and right at about 4,001 gold. So not too far away from getting the flame sword. Thy power increases by 3. Thy response speed increases by 7. So that's really useful as you get further and further. I mean, there's a reason why you want to keep gaining levels along the way, and why it's okay to screw around buying expensive armor and then buying another expensive armor rather than just saying, hell, just save up for the magic armor. You're going to have a hell of a time staying alive against some of these tough monsters first and foremost. And I don't know, like if you go too fast, you're going to be extremely frustrated if your levels aren't high. Now, I mentioned that 50 times, so I apologize. Thy maximum hit points increased by 7, and and I'll keep saying thy all I want, and as much as people don't like it, maximum magic points increased by 6. Because I remember was it George on the why was he even saying that? Oh yeah, because I guess there's a Super Nintendo remake, and how this was eliminated. He's like, I wouldn't say thee and thou and stuff. It wasn't in the original script in the Japanese version. That's great, dude. They just were having fun when they made it like this. Why not? I don't know. Some people are a little too uptight for me, and I don't know. He was also born like after the game came out, so whatever. I'd rather hear from people that actually played the game back in the day than, Anyhow, thou hast learned a new spell, and the new spell is return. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, let's just say, it's suffice to say, I'm not a huge fan of people that reviewed of all the different hosts that have reviewed games over the years in podcast form or video form. Some of the arrogance of some of the younger people, I don't know, or even some of the older ones too. I don't understand it. I don't. I just enjoy the game. I don't know. I like retro games a lot more than I guess some people do. And I don't know. I think having thee and thou in Dragon Warrior isn't exactly the worst thing in the history of the world. Sorry if that's stupid to you, but I don't know. I think it's totally fine. It's Old English in a time and in a game where you're talking like old knights and stuff. They said thee and thou, so oh darn. Anyhow, level build awaits some more, and eventually we're going to go for the flame sword. The flame sword. And now I have 9,800 gold. So the next thing you're going to do is return to your regular castle, whatever. Fill up everything, your magic and hit points and all that cute stuff, and then we venture to some very, very dangerous territory to get the flame sword, ladies and gentlemen. And when we do all that, it's time to kind of venture, first we'll go north. So it's kind of like towards Garningham, but not quite. Now Garningham, so now we're going to end up again going west, but then south instead of towards Garningham. We're going to go, instead of north to Garningham, we're going to end up going south through the bridges and all that good stuff. So, yeah, we're going to get into some really dangerous territory. And eventually, once you start bumping into knights and stuff, I recommend just trying to run. And if you can't, well, hope for the best, that type of thing. Unfortunately, odds are you're going to get attacked religiously, because it's like this game senses when you're actually interested in going somewhere. It also senses when you're interested in level building. It tends to screw around and not attack you, it's like the game reads your mind. It's ridiculous. Obviously it doesn't, but it sure feels that way, like the whole Murphy's Law thing. But yes, so now as you're going south, you see this is an area maybe you were level building earlier if you were, doing the same thing I was. past the poison swamp. Keep going south, 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 and eventually you get to the second bridge. See, right now you're running into like skeletons and scorpions and stuff. But eventually when you cross that bridge, you're going to start seeing stuff like, well, obviously even before you cross the bridge, like wolf lords, goldmen and stuff. And then eventually wyverns and knights. And as you keep going south, yes, further south. I'd say right now you should have no problem defeating a wyvern. If you have the magic armor and the broadsword, you should be fine. So fighting a regular wyvern isn't the worst ever. Occasionally they will hit you pretty hard though, so make note of that. Of course, the most obnoxious thing of all is when you get attacked before you run away. Now as you head south, kind of towards a town, so to speak, you can see what looks like a town in the middle of the desert. Just like my friend Dave once said many, many years ago, don't go in that town. You know why? It's the town of Hawksnest, which is apparently, you'll learn about it, that it's there used to be a town to the south called Hawksnest or stuff like that. You hear about that in Garrenham as you talk to different people, or in other areas they'll say they hear whole towns were destroyed. Yeah, Hawksnest was destroyed. It's overrun by green dragons, wizards, which are like a way tougher version of like warlocks and magicians, way tougher because they can cast hurt more, which will still hurt you pretty bad even with the magic armor. Let's see what else. Star wyverns, wolf werewolves, which are way stronger than wolf lords, way stronger. So they're like several levels above. You will be in big trouble without at least a flame sword and probably being another level. You also run into stuff now as you're heading south past the town called Demon Knights, which I would recommend running away from at this stage in the game. Hopefully you'll have enough resources like being magic points and such. But yeah, knights, demon knights, stuff like that. Wraith knights, I recommend just running away for now. Eventually you're going to see star wyverns and magi wyverns. That's also what you'll see in Hawksnest. Again, you're going to keep heading south, 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 south for a while. Eventually you're going to get to a bridge that heads towards the east, and then you'll want to start heading north. See, once you start seeing the little hills, like that you kind of struggle with, so to speak, in that area you might run into a metal slime or two. Try your best, attack them and all that. They can't hurt you real bad. And if you do beat them, you'll get over 100 experience points. So, quick way to gain levels. Unfortunately, the Sons of Guns run away all the time. But once you cross the bridge, now you're in Magi Wyvern and Star Wyvern area, which is really bad. Magi Wyverns can put you to sleep. Star Wyverns can cast Heal More, which is extremely annoying. So, because every time you think, oh, I'm going to beat him, and then they cast Heal More. So you're basically starting from scratch. And they're the most freaking annoying guys in the entire game. Ignore the first bridge you see heading towards the east, because that's where you're going to head to look for Erdrick's token. But I do not recommend that until you have Erdrick's armor, because you have to walk through a poison swamp, a very, very large one. So we will not be doing that right now. Head north past the bridge. Keep walking north, 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 kind of along the coastline and the mountain range, the small mountain range. Yeah, again, you're going to start seeing werewolves and all that stuff. So basically the kind of monsters you'll see in Hawksnest. Ignore them. Cross the bridge now to the east. Now I'm running into a green dragon. Wow. Yep, you'll have to go through the poison swamp, which isn't the best thing ever. Star Wyvern's annoying as hell. Do not walk in the town or into that little area that looks like you're walking into the town until you heal enough. Because you're going to run into a golem, which is a very powerful stone monster. Do not fight it right away. Use the fairy flute that we talked about getting in the, what was the town called? Cole, a little south, a few steps south of the area that heals from rheumatoid arthritis or whatever. Golem falls asleep. Hack away at him. And hack away, hack away. If you're really lucky, he'll stay asleep, but often he hath woken up and hits you so freaking hard you're F-bombed. So use the fairy flute again. And pray to God he falls asleep and stays asleep. I actually recommend even healing. Yeah, because he will fall asleep. But I recommend healing when he first falls asleep if you're like beat up pretty bad. Because he just hit me with 44. Luckily, he probably won't wake up when you're healing. Thank God. Okay, so now hack away at him some more. Hope you get like a real good hit in or two. Unfortunately, the SOB isn't dying because I'm not that strong. He's staying asleep this time, though. And eventually, thou hast done well in defeating the golem. They give you 5 gold and 9 experience. Really generous. Or is it actually the other way around? You get into the town by the grace of God, and you feel like $1,000,000. and you're in Cantillon, the castle town. You'll see all kinds of inns and stuff. Unfortunately, I forgot one major important thing. You need a key to get into the area that actually sells the stuff you need. But I believe they do sell magic keys here. I pray to God they do, and I'm pretty sure they do, yes. But they're more expensive, if I remember correctly. I may have made a terrible mistake. But as you go in east, that would figure, wouldn't it? But the golem is dead. Once he's dead, so you don't have to worry about him, even if you make a dumb mistake like I might have just done. I forget if they sell keys in this town. But yeah, in the kind of the eastern part of the town, you'll see an area where there's a door in the way. An old man to the north of the, like the upper part of the building or whatever it is. And then a soldier behind a counter. That's the one that sells the super expensive, valuable items that we came here to get in the first place. I can't remember if they sell keys here. Crap, I don't know if they do. Because I know they do in the regular castle, like the first castle of the game. And of course, the town we were in not too long ago, Tantalum before. So, oh crap, I think I may have screwed up here. Fairy water gets rid of the weaker monsters. It's kind of like the repel spell in a lot of ways. I hope they sell keys here, but I don't think they do. Yep, one old man says, "'Tis said that the Erdrick's sword could cleave steel." So that's obviously an awesome thing. So, yes. Well, you can get one kind of valuable thing. It helps your defense by 2 points in one of the little shops. Yeah, I'm getting really mad at myself right now, but kind of like the leftern part of the town. He sells a dragon scale, so do buy that for 20 gold. That's all it is. It actually, so when you select it, you go to the item and select. They ask if you want to put it on. Yes. Now it actually increases your defense by 2. So that's one small, tiny consolation for forgetting to buy keys. So don't do what I did. Of course, you're probably too late and mad at me as hell right now. But yeah, mad as hell at me right now. Unless hopefully you're just listening first before coming here. But yeah, get keys in either the castle, which costs a little bit more, or Tantalum, where we were before and bought the broadsword. One other thing the Erdrick's armor actually saves you from is the dangerous tiles as well. They look like lines, Do not walk on those if you don't have Erdrick's armor, because you're going to get hit by over 10 hit points, I believe. So it's not for each step you take. So that would be just stupid. So don't even waste your time in killing yourself and all that. So, yep, I get to go back and get the key from the town, and that's just me. So, me being me, I guess. Since I have a decent amount of money, I figure I'll just buy some in the castle. So, we're going to kind of go that route. So, kind of walk, to the left part of the castle, where there's the thin area that's kind of by a door. You're not going to want to waste your time with a key on that door. Just kind of go north and then to the right, so to speak. Keep going. Okay, maybe not. You have to get a key to even get in there. So, never mind. You'd get keys there after you buy them in the other town where the broadsword is. So, that's Tantalum or whatever. So, yeah, we have to go there. Don't be dumb like I did. Get the keys first before you do anything else. Raise your money and just buy the stinking keys. They don't cost that much. And it's actually Remuldar, so I always mess it up. It's not Tantalum, it's Remuldar. Tantalum's like the first. Yeah, so I'm digging myself in a big enough a hole right now. I was already frustrated, so I apologize. Remuldar. I get them mixed up, so again, I apologize. You want to go to the far northwestern part of the town, but you can't just reach it when you're inside the town. You have to do it by kind of walking around the outer edge of the town. You'll kind of see characters lined up with the outer edge of the town. So basically walk to the, the entrance, basically. And then when you're on the bricks, walk along the bricks and then walk along the water. Not in the water, but on the outside of it. You can even talk to the guy just for fun. He says, "I'm Orwick and I'm waiting for my girlfriend." And then his girlfriend is on the other side of the town waiting for him, saying he's late. So that's kind of cute and funny. Again, walk across the water, not across it, but along the water. And then you'll eventually be able to get into the area that you couldn't get to before in the northwestern part of the town. And then you get an old man that says magic keys. You can buy some for 50. Buy one for 53 gold. Buy enough to where it gets to a point you can't carry anymore, which is, I believe, 6 is the maximum that you can carry at once. Just buy it out. Hell with it. And I guess I'm full already. Maybe I don't even know if you can carry 6. Yeah, you can carry up to that many. That's kind of the maximum number. So, yep, buy it out. I still have enough money to buy a flame sword and stuff. So I could even get the sunstones in the castle if I want to, but I don't really care less about that right now. That's like going to the end of the game, and we're not there yet. So return to the castle and then head to the to Cantillon, now that I'll have that placed correctly, and buy your freaking flame sword and feel a million times better. Another character we never ran into last time around is the Rogue Scorpion. He's blue colored, so he's like a meaner version of the regular Scorpion and the Metal Scorpion. Their defense is insane, and their offense is pretty good too. So probably run, but what the heck? I'm kind of messing around with one. I remember dying at one of these a while back. Like what the hell? Because the battle just never ended. Yeah, they do give you over 100 gold though. Wow, but yeah, I'm pretty beat up and damaged. So kind of a grueling fight there. It's like playing against the Minnesota Wild when they actually show up, because sometimes they're dangerous and physical. But okay, I'll get off that. And again, thankfully, as you head to Cantillon, the golem is dead already. So yeah. So if you did what I just did earlier, yeah, the golem's already dead. So you can come back, and again, when you come back later for the silver shield, same thing. He's dead. So go to the stinking place, open the stinking door, and buy the stinking flame sword. Check the status. Your attack power is 69. Buy the flame sword and feel much happier about yourself, which I do at the moment. Oof. After being a complete idiot and walking all the way over here for nothing the first time around. But, you know, it's valuable experience, I guess, right? For all of us rookie. No, I'm not a rookie, but for some people, maybe. You can use some of the money to stay at the inn if you need to, if you don't have enough magic to return back. But we'll find out in a minute. Your offense went from 69, or at least mine did, to 77. So a huge jump with the flame sword. Massive jump. Ever so worth it. I'm going to walk out of town. I believe I have enough to cast Return with 8 magic points. If not, well, then just heal at the end. Whatever. You should have enough money. And, yep, I'm good to go. Back to the castle at the beginning of the game and all that cute stuff. And, yeah, fill up, save, and we'll continue level building now for the shield and just level building in general to get heal more, which is eventually going to be a super duper valuable spell, which you will need in order to defeat the Axe Knight. And along the way, I finally got to 7,500 experience points, which will now bring me to level 14. That's always a great thing. Power increased by 8. That's just huge. Speed increased by 6. Just massive. Hit points by 8. Magic points by 6. Great stats in level 14. And now we'll go back to Mike's RPG Center to kind of look at the situation when it comes to leveling up and such. Well, I need 2,500 more to get to 10,000 experience points just to get to level 15, which would then be the Repel spell. And then apparently level 16, see, the next one, there'll still be I'll get a lot of everything again in the next, I'll get a lot of hit points, magic points, speed and all that in the next one, except hit points but not magic points much. And then I'd get the Repel spell again, like I said, level 15. 16, you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then bam, 21 to 23 magic points, which is unbelievable. And then finally, at 16,000 experience points, you get the Heal More spell, which will be great at level 17, which then you can officially fight the Axe Knight. In between now and then, of course, you want to build up for the Silver Shield, and I think we're getting pretty close to the time to finally go kill the Green Dragon and rescue the princess. Why the heck not, eh? Because in all honesty and fairness, there's no real reason why you shouldn't be able to, why you need the Silver Shield in order to defeat a Green Dragon once you already have the Flame Sword, the Magic Armor, and you're level 14. I mean, I just gained 8 more Strength points, 6 more Agility. I think I can do it, so probably take a good chance at it at level 14 to go after the Green Dragon. So obviously go back to your town, Rimildar, and again, I apologize for messing up the name of the towns over and over and over again like a complete dummy. Go and heal there, spend the 55 gold, which is ridiculous, but oh well, you can make it pretty quickly fighting goldmen and such. There's places here you can open doors and such, and also again, the building where you go inside. I guess, nope, this isn't the one. That's in Cantillon, where there's like the lines on the ground. That they call them like dangerous tiles or something. You basically get like electrocuted or something if you do not have the Erdrick's armor equipped. If you don't waste your time. Yeah, don't do it. You're gonna risk your life, and it's not worth it. So you take a ton of damage for each step you take. I believe it's 10 damage for each single step. Just don't bother. Just get the Erdrick's armor first, which will be, I guess, after you rescue the princess and all that, and of course after you get the heal more spell and defeat the Axe Knight. Until then, let's concentrate on what we need to do next, which again, either keep building up money and levels and get the silver shield and all that stuff, or let's go after the green dragon. Now he of course is in the cave that leads to Remildar, like basically from Cole to Remildar. He's in the cave. I'm going to try to work our way back inside, and of course, like I said, you need the magic key to even get through, to even get in the door. So to fight the green dragon and save the princess and all that. Actually, I believe you fight the dragon first, and then you open the door to get to the princess. So of course, when you go in the cave, use Radiant. Now, of course, you can go after the dragon from either side of the cave, like from the south side or the north side. I'm coming in from the south side, so I'm going north, 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 and of course with Radiant, to the right, above you, you won't be able to get there yet, is a door. That's where the princess is being kept. Ooh. So again, keep going north in the narrow channel, narrow way, whatever the heck you'd call it, hallway, I guess. Get attacked about 50,000 times to get annoyed because it keeps interrupting the gameplay. So now you work your way to the right, all the way to the far right. Work your way down the thin corridor, and then you'll get to an area you can tell clearly there's something up, because there's like it's a small pathway that leads into another area. As you walk into that small little pathway, bam, you get attacked. It is the green dragon. Now again, you will fight green dragons in Charlotte Castle and in Hawksnest and the way to Cantlin and all that, but this is the first time you'll actually for real fight them rather than run away. Because there's a purpose here. So fight away. You could even use a sleep spell and take a risk. Luckily, I'm still getting hit really hard by the son of a gun, even with the, levels up and all that. But I'm going to take my chances and just keep hacking away, since I am hitting him with 21, 22. He's hitting with about the same, which is really scary. But the fact of the matter is, everybody else in this level is way, 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 way weaker. So I'm not too worried. I survived. I defeated the green dragon. Woohoo. And you can keep going down. You can see what looks like the princess kind of chained up or something. Go south, open the door. If you don't have keys, you're going to be in trouble. And you rescue the princess. You talk to her. Thou art brave. Indeed, to rescue me, Palladino. In this case, I am Gwaelin, daughter of Lorric. Will thou take me to the castle? No, I don't want to. Of course, you say yes. Princess Gwaelin embraces thee. And then you get to hear the cute little song. It almost sounds like you won the game, like in a Mario game or something. It's so cute. And she says, I'm so happy. Unfortunately, the game is not over yet. You're actually carrying her because, well, she probably is really weak at this stage. You can elect to use the outside spell in return, which I recommend, because what's the point? It's cute and everything to be walking with the princess in your arms. But, I don't know, you're going to get attacked 100 times, and it's annoying and pointless. So use outside and then return. Go to the main castle. And isn't that a great feeling? So it's always and everybody's happy. They're like, wow, thou hast done well in saving the princess at Tentacle Castle. Yeah, welcome to Tentagel Castle or Tentagel Castle. And then the knight that was like, where can I find Princess Gwaelin? That's kind of hiding to the right a little bit behind a area. Oh, my dearest Gwaelin, I hate thee, Palladino. And yes, I understand that feeling, because I've been on the other end of that about 100 times or so in my life. But whatever, keep walking up to the king. There's not really much to say. I mean, you can talk to everybody, but it's kind of the typical, wow, great job, woohoo. You're a cute guy, or it's such a cute couple. Go up to the king, Lorric. Forever shall I be grateful for the gift of my daughter. Return to her home, Palladino. Accept my thanks. Now, Gwaelin, come to my side. Gwaelin then whispers, wait a moment, please. I would like to give a present to Palladino. Please accept my love, Palladino. Isn't that great? Even when we two are parted by great distances, I shall be with thee. Farewell, Palladino. Will thou tell me the quest of the not forgotten? Yes, of course. So you keep going there. And you can talk to the princess and ask yes if you love her, and of course you say yes, and you get that cute little song again. But now you have Gwaelin's Love, which actually works as a little bit as it kind of works as a compass. It tells you how many steps you are away from Tentacle Castle, which is important for finding Erdrick's token, which is very important to wrap up the game later on. So, yes, Gwaelin's Love works as a compass. How that makes any sense, I'm not sure, but I guess it does. Let's get back to our quest of getting stronger and building up the shield, or building up enough money to buy the silver shield at 14,800 gold. I only have about 10,600 to go. Great. Well, 10,500, I guess, now. I'm a little closer. But yeah, that's just the way it is, so enjoy. And now I've reached level 15 officially. Just about have enough money for the silver shield as well. I'm probably going to start working my way over there. I mean, I've got like, less than 400, maybe like 360 gold to go. So working our way there. Power increases by 7, speed increases by 8, hit points increase by 8, magic points increase by 2, and I do believe I also just got repel. Yes. So that's actually going to be helpful, kind of like, so you don't have to waste your stinking time walking to the silver shield. At least the early part. Eventually, once the monsters get stronger, the repel spell does not work. So it'll even show that in the manual or whatever, that the repel will not scare away monsters that are stronger than you. So like knights and all that, and demon knights and the star wavers and all that, yeah, you're not going to be able to avoid them. Also, it does not work in caves. So even against weak monsters, the repel spell does not work in caves. So be wary of that. Repel is mostly to just keep weak, annoying, stupid monsters away from you when you want to like move around, you know? The good news is that repel only takes up 2 magic points, so you don't have to worry a whole lot. But again, once you get to about the desert where the town of Hawksnest is, you start running into stuff like knights and demon knights and stuff. So yeah, then you're going to start getting attacked even with repel equipped, or not equipped, but cast. So when it wears out on your dangerous trip to Cantlin, don't bother wasting even the 2 magic points on repel, because you're going to get hit or attacked anyway along the way. If you want to mess around with the metal slimes, again, down in the very, very south tip, before crossing east of the bridge and all that, east and then eventually north to Cantlin, yeah, there's silver slimes in those hills, but be aware they're going to run away most of the time, so it's almost like not worth it. It's kind of like luck, you know, so that's the crappy part. Amazingly, along the way, I did defeat a demon knight. So, yeah, and at this point, once you get to, like, say, if you're right about where I am, level 15, and you have the magic armor, the flame sword, and the, well, at this point, the large shield, before you end up getting the silver shield, yeah, I mean, you should be able to hold your own. And the other good news is the golem is gone, so you'll be able to walk right into the castle town of Cantlin. And, of course, please have your magic keys. And I do recommend, now that you're back here again, using keys to open doors, go buy some more. Because if you don't, you're going to be pissed. Plus, if you want to buy some at the castle, they're like twice as much or something. So, or like, I don't know, 50% more. So, yeah, just be smart about it and buy it here, since you made the dangerous trip anyway. As for the whole defense and shield situation, attack power is 92, defense power is 66. We're going to go from a minuscule $800 large shield to a $14,800 silver shield, which is the best shield in the game. Woohoo. Yep, we get 400 gold from the large shield. And the good news is you don't need to buy any more expensive armor for the rest of the game. All of your money can go towards magic shields or that sweet water or whatever the heck it is. But when you have the repel spell, you don't even need that fairy water or whatever, but you can get it. And you can buy the wings even though you already have return. But yeah, that's just stuff to think about. You absolutely don't need the torch. What the heck would you even touch that for? So your defense power goes from a much lower number of, what was it, like, it was 66 if I remember correctly, and now it is 76. So a massive jump, 10-point jump. Your defense power is fantastic, and you don't even have Erdrick's armor yet, which heals you way faster than the magic armor. So the next thing we're going to do now is, unfortunately, level build some more to level 17 to get the heal more spell, because I do not recommend taking on the Axe Knight in Hawksnest to ultimately get the Erdrick's armor. And then eventually you'll get Erdrick's sword in Charlock Castle. I do want to wander around Cantlin and read the... there's a one or two characters here that kind of give you a hint about where the Erdrick's armory actually is. And wouldn't you know, like right away, like the first person I talked to, it's the one that I was looking for. Grandfather used to say, and yeah, hopefully this isn't a spoiler, but I mean, it's a, 30, how many year old game. So if you, 1989 is when it got to the US. So it's 34 years ago. So yep, I could be a grandfather by now, just about. Anyway, grandfather used to say that his friend Win had buried something of great value at the foot of a tree behind his shop. And, well, yeah, Win was in Hawk's Nest. So that's something you need to know, Hawk's Nest. So the town that's been destroyed, and obviously if it's a grandfather, it's probably like 60 years ago or something. And there's other hints when they say, oh, many have carried Erdrick's armor over the years. It's been passed down generation and generation. They believe the last person who was possessed Erdrick's armor was a man named Win. So I'm not sure if that's in this town, but wouldn't surprise me. Sorry, I didn't turn the sound off over here. But once again, like this is a place you'll want to come back here again later on when you see, again, I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. You notice the striped looking floor, that is like electric or whatever the heck, magic or whatever it is. Don't walk on it without Erdrick's armor. You will be damaged severely and you'll probably die, or you'll just waste your time in magic and all that. Just wait till you get the Erdrick's armor to walk on that. So it'll protect you from a lot of things. Erdrick armor is amazing. So that's definitely something to talk about. Again, another hint is, 'tis said that the Dragon Lord hath claws that can cleave iron and fiery breath that can melt stone. Dost thou still wish to go on? Yes. Thou art truly brave. Yeah, the flame is unbelievably bad. When the Dragon Lord casts flame at the end of the game, then again, spoiler alert, it's like a wizard type of guy who turns into a dragon, and then he's freaking hard as hell. Yeah. And again, I'm a complete moron. Okay, sorry for calling myself names. Maybe I sound like a, I don't know, whatever the word is. I don't know, somebody who's always looking for sympathy, self-pity person. Yeah, the place where you buy the keys is, of course, Rim Yuldar, if I ever say it correctly, which is, down south in the cave and all that stuff where we were fighting the wolf lords and stuff. So, yeah, I keep getting mixed up where you can buy keys. It's Rim Yuldar and, of course, the main castle, Tentagal Castle, at the beginning. Of course, you need to open doors to even get to the guy in the first place. There's an interesting place that looks like a shop where a guy's kind of, you open the door to get there. A guy's kind of wandering around in a large space behind the counter. So you have to actually wait for him to come to the counter to talk to you. But I do believe he has something interesting to say, if I remember correctly. Yep, I was right. Whew. Thankfully, he came pretty quickly. My grandfather Win once had a shop on the east side of Hawk's Nest. See, because you put the pieces together. See what I mean? My grandfather Win once had a shop on the east side of Hawk's Nest. So yes, again, that's the other hint. The last person that had Erdrick's armor was Win. That's somewhere else. And they say Win used to have a weapon shop, that he buried the Erdrick's armor by a tree. So yes, ultimately, when you walk up to that tree, you will bump into an axe knight. So, and he is much, much harder than a regular knight. And yeah, I believe he casts heal more as well. So be prepared for being annoyed as hell fighting that guy, and you will need heal more to survive him because he's really, really, really tough. So again, just very important. I'm trying to look for the other guy that talked about. Here we go. Here's the other character. Yeah, the other hint in this town. So it's all here. It's like literally, let's go for this Erdrick's armor. Where the heck is it? One of the soldiers says, it is said that many have held Erdrick's armor. The last to have it was a fellow named Win. Yep, and again, that's a guy maybe 60 years ago or so, because you're thinking like a kind of an older guy's grandfather. That's about 60 to 80 years ago is my guess. Just guesstimations. You don't know the generational gap and all that, but I don't know. That's not important necessarily, even though I like to speculate and imagine stuff because I'm a weird guy and I don't know. Where did that guy go? It's like he's disappeared. Come back. Maybe his grandfather took him away. You also find this weird character named Nestor. He says, I'm Nestor. Hey, where am I? No, don't tell me. Well, that's weird. So I think it's some kind of weird Easter egg or something. I don't know if it's probably something from, what the heck is that guy doing outside the town? The guy that talks about his grandfather. Weird. Grandfather used to say that his friend Win. Okay, yeah. So he's not. Win isn't his grandfather. It's his friend. His grandfather's friend. Win had buried something of great value at the foot of a tree behind his shop. So put the pieces together. The last person to have owned Erdrich's armor is Win. Win used to have a shop on the east side of Hawksnest, which is the town that's been destroyed, south of not Cole, but Garenham, which is the northwest part of Alfgard, which is the whole world, basically. So you go kind of like, you could say, west central in that tough area where you start running into knights and such. Hawksnest has been destroyed and is beat to hell and all that stuff. So yes, again, and it was on the east side of town. So yes, under a tree. So hello, hello, hello. We can just put all the three pieces together. It's actually fun. I really enjoy like an older game like this that has clues like that. I think that's really cool because it seems like, like stuff didn't really happen that way until like modern games. Or not modern, but like, I keep thinking Super Nintendo and PlayStation are modern, like PS1. No, to me, they're more modern than this though. But it's cool that a game this far back has kind of cool clues like this when you consider this game was actually made in '86. That's why you have that brick background that looks a lot like Super Mario Brothers. There is a charm to these older games that can never be matched, and that's why Video Game Flashback exists, so we can enjoy games like this together. You and me. What do you think of that? But back to the actual game itself. Unfortunately, well, gold is not going to really be a thing you're going to really care about anymore. So gold men are basically worthless from here on. Again, magic keys are nice to have and all that. And you could probably even afford the more expensive ones if you want to max out at the Tentacle Castle rather than going the other way. But I don't know, it's kind of good to level build over that way for now until you end up getting stronger like Erdrich's armor and stuff. That's when you can start taking on knights regularly without feeling your power getting drained real quickly, your hit points and such. But again, money is no longer a thing. That's why, again, you want to try to fight as tough of monsters as you can hang in there consistently against to get more and more experience points, because it's going to be a slow climb. Unfortunately, that's the crappy part about this game. Obviously, it's a game I love very much, but again, level building is going to take 3,000-4,000 experience points from here on, and eventually, once you get to a certain point, it's 5,000 experience points to get to the next level. We need to get to level 17 to get the Heal More spell, which again I recommend before even attempting to get Erdrich's armor and Hawksnest, because you want to heal more, bottom line. 2725 basically remaining for experience points, so it is 3,000, 13,000 to get to level 16, and yeah, it's just it's a steady climb, but it is what it is. So just go out there and keep doing it, I suppose. And as I kept doing it, I eventually was able to reach level 16, and for the first time in this game, getting to level 16, you end up getting 23 magic points, at least in this case. It can be like a little range of like 20 to 25-ish or something, but 23 magic points, so a huge jump there, and you actually have more magic points than hit points, usually by level 16. Eventually it'll switch around back if I remember correctly, but we'll see. Yeah, I think the hit points kind of pick up again, but you end up having a ton of both as you get higher and higher and higher in levels. So, yeah, definitely something to look forward to is more magic points, because God knows you can never have too many of those. And after a long level building, I've finally reached the elusive level 17. An amazing feeling, because this is a huge milestone in this game. Speed increases by 7, hit points increase by 8, magic points increase by 5, but the all-important heal more is what it's all about. So once you get heal more at level 17, either warp back to the castle, walk to Garningham or something like that, heal at the end. Probably Garningham is good enough. Maybe use the repel spell to walk over there. Heal up, get ready to go, because you're going to be heading in towards Hawksnest. Major thing of note, you have 100 hit points and 100 magic points at this stage, or at least in this case I do. Maybe that's different in other cases because like different rolls of the dice, so to speak. But Hawk's Nest, here we are. Heal More uses 10 magic points, so definitely make note of that, especially if you're at like right about 100 or 101. That means you'll have up to 10 Heal More casts. So you probably don't want to cast Repel along the way unless you have 102 magic points, then you're okay. So simple math there, obviously multiples of 10. But yeah, now you want to head further, or you want to head towards the east until you get to what looks like a shop, or what formerly was a shop. And then like the tree kind of in the southern part of it. And you'll bump into the Axe Knight. Now, of course, again, to clarify, you're going to be on the eastern part of the village, as you're going to see some other stuff. So you're going to end up walking through the swamp part to get to the actual tree, where you will, again, fight the Axe Knight. Unfortunately, you're going to also possibly run into stuff like werewolves, wizards, green dragons, and star wyverns, maybe magi wyverns as well. All a headache. If you can get away from them, great. Otherwise, take on that Axe Knight in that tree. He is not an easy son of a gun. So he looks just like the knight with different colors and an axe in his hand this time around. And yeah, I mean, at this stage, you should be able to hang in there, especially with the Heal More spell. If you didn't have the Heal More spell, you're pretty much screwed. One thing that the Axe Knight can do is cast Sleep. Luckily, I was able to cleanly beat him without even having to heal once, which, wow, okay. That doesn't happen very often. That was absolutely wonderful. So hopefully you're as lucky as I was just now. Not even a spectacular hit or whatever the heck. So just search right where you're standing, the tree, so to speak, and you'll pick up the ultimate armor in the game, which is Erdrick's armor. And magically, I didn't check the improvement of defense, but yeah, it's at least, yeah, it's 10 more points of defense. But now you'll notice when you walk in the poison swamp, so to speak, you don't get damaged, and you heal way, 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 way faster than the magic armor. In fact, 4 times faster. The game is completely different now. The game is much easier now. You'll be able to level build faster because you'll be able to take on really tough guys. Star Wyverns are super annoying because they cast Heal. You have the defense and the offense to be able to beat them easily, but they cast Heal More. Not Heal, but Heal More, which is really annoying, and it could prolong the battle for like 5 hours. It's like the quadruple overtime game between Florida and Carolina in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. You just knew Florida was going to end up winning that series after that game, because when you put up all that energy in one game, yeah, you're screwed. And you end up losing, you're screwed. So, yeah. Anyhow, that kind of can date, I guess, where this game review is being done. The Florida Panthers just made it to the Stanley Cup Final. In fact, it took me about 50 hits to kill the Star Wyvern because he keeps using Heal More. But anyhow, I've babbled enough about that. So now, basically, I guess generally keep level building, but we're also going to head towards that Garenham and all these other places and build up. But now you have the Erdrick's armor, which makes everything easier. So congratulations and enjoy. Your next order of business should be to head to Cantland. You might as well go there, the castle town, so to speak, because now you can walk across that dangerous, floor, basically. I believe I have enough keys. Yeah, I have maximum amount of keys. So head yourself south a bit until, head yourself into like the, what looks like a building in the center of town, so to speak. Eventually work your way inside. It'll be on the northern part of the building. To the east a little bit, you'll be able to walk in. Even though the door is not visible, you'll talk to an old man that says, to learn how proof may be obtained that thy ancestor was the great Erdrick, see a man in this very town. So you have to basically walk further south into this, what I believe is a pavilion, not a building, because there's grass underneath. So now here's this man who in this very town, so to speak. You open the door and walk across the very dangerous floor that would damage you royally if you didn't have Erdrick's armor. Now you can talk to him. He says, "Let us wish the warrior well. May the light be thy strength." Might as well say, "Put a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." Thou may go and search from Tantagel Castle. Travel 7 leagues to the south and 40 to the east. So remember, 7 leagues to the south and 40 to the east. Now, how the heck do you do that? Well, remember Gwaelin's love? Every time she will talk to you, or every time you basically press, I'm trying to say click on, but press Gwaelin's love in your items, she'll say, "Heed my voice, for this is Gwaelin. To reach the next level, almost 2260 at this stage. My hope is with thee. I love thee, Palladino." Okay, I'm in the town, so she's not going to be a compass yet. So she'll be a compass now. Gwaelin's love, Okay, so she'll say, "I am 40 to the north and 30 to the west." So that's interesting. So what you want to do now, in this case, you have Erdrick's armor again. So yeah, you can walk across the poison stuff, basically. Who cares? So kind of head your way back, like from Cantlin, kind of sort of back in the direction of Hawksnest and such, and kind of work your way south now that you've been, you went north a bit, but now south along the coastline, so to speak, of this lake or river or whatever the heck it is, or ocean. I wouldn't call it an ocean. It's kind of more like a bay. The problem is you're going to get attacked 450,000 times, regardless if you kill or run, so it's super annoying and time consuming. Luckily, you should be able to withstand most attacks, though, most of them, especially like knights and stuff, which are no longer hard now that you have Erdrick's armor. But basically, as you keep going south, eventually you'll come to the bridge that you've been ignoring forever. Well, now you're going to want to cross that bridge. You're going to cross that bridge now that you've got there, right? So head east, southeast, east, southeast, now south a bit. Poison swamp, walk east quite a bit. See, now, again, the reason why you got the Erdrick's armor first. Like, yeah, you can put 2 and 2 together, right? You really want to walk on this poison swamp without Erdrick's armor? Yeah, that'd be stupid. Or heal more or anything like that. So cross over into the eastern swamp, so to speak. It's kind of almost like 2, I don't even know, kidneys or something. I don't even know if they're kidneys. More like a dumbbell-shaped thing. I'm getting attacked like 5 billion times, so I can't get to the spot, which is extremely annoying. It is driving me up the wall. But that's the name of the game, folks. Every time you want to get attacked, you don't. When you don't want to get attacked, they never stop. Ever. It is relentless. So walk to basically like the center area of the swamp. So again, I'm basically giving it away where to go. So open up Gwaelin's love again. Isn't that cute? Your help is with thee from right now. 69 to the north and 40 to the west. So basically what she's saying is the castle is 69 to the north. So we are south of it. That's the whole point. The castle is to the north and the west. So basically from where I'm standing, I just go down 1, talk to it again or whatever. I don't know why I pressed door. And let's just see what it says. It's going to say 70. That's basically all I had to do is walk down 1 spot. So 70 to the north and 40 to the east. Don't be confused by the whole, west. So don't be confused by the whole south and east thing. It's basically, she's saying the castle is that far from the north. See where he's saying, or that the castle is that far to the north. In this case, see, I, or you, are 70 to the south and 40 to the east of the castle. So it's kind of like backwards. Yeah, so now all you got to do is search. And guess what? Thou have discovered Erdrick's token. So now you can prove that you are Erdrick's descendant because you walked across the swamp with Erdrick's armor and picked up a token. Right. Yeah. Well, I suppose anybody could have done that, but no, I guess only Erdrick's descendant could have done it? I don't know, but either way, we have Erdrick's tokens. Now we can kind of continue the other steps as we continue to move forward. Did I just drop the fighter's ring? Oh, Lord. Okay, I almost flipped out. No, I didn't. I just adjusted it. Whew. Anyhow, so now we can either warp back to the castle or walk back to Hawksnest and fight and level build and all that level build outside of Hawk's Nest, level build inside of Hawk's Nest. Of course, when you get really beat up in Hawk's Nest, walk outside, you'll fight weaker enemies, and as you're walking around, you'll heal faster, especially with the fact you're not really level 20-ish yet. And then eventually we're going to get the Sunstones in Tentagel Castle, and of course also going to get the Silver Harp in Garinham, the town. We'll talk about that shortly. A pretty tough level, actually. The second hardest level in the game. As you go down into the underground, basically like a big basement that goes on and on forever. It's not the easiest thing, but with Erdrick's armor and the flame sword and the silver shield, you're not going to die. You're not. And if you do, well, you just ran into some terrible stroke of luck or something along the way, or you were just terribly prepared. You didn't heal first or something crazy like that. But then eventually we'll get the Staff of Rain from the Silver Harp. Spoiler alert, right? And then you go to the south, the area south of Rimhildar, where they say the sun and the water meet, or the sun and the rain meet. You get the rainbow drop, and then that creates a bridge, so you can go to Charlock Castle and go to the hardest level of the game, the final level, and eventually find Erdrick's sword. So yeah, that's kind of what's lying ahead. So let's get started, eh? You have two choices: heading to Tentacle Castle and get the Sunstones, which I've mentioned probably 50 times, or go to Garinham and get the Silver Harp in the, what do they call it? The cemetery at Garin. So let's probably head that way first instead. Because more than likely you've been level building in Hawk's Nest. So all you basically do is go north to that Garinham, and that's where your next level is going to wind up being, in the northern part of the town. Of course, you can kind of talk around and such, just kind of introduce, somebody named Nestor. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Yeah, most of the information here is kind of old news, I guess, which you probably already know. Garin, a wandering, here we go. Garin, a wandering minstrel of legendary fame, is said to have built this town. And of course, that's somebody you'll meet in Dragon Warrior 3 when you are Erdrick or Lodo or whatever. Basically, you actually are Erdrick in that game. Garinham, pardon me. May thy stay be a peaceful one. So basically, what you want to do is go in the door in the upper, well, you could kind of say upper eastern part of town. Go on through the door, waltz on through, and there's little treasure chests. People talking about once there was a town called Hawk's Nest far to the south, but I do not know if it still exists. Unfortunately, it's still there, but it's a ruin. They say, another person says, they say that Erdrick's armor was hidden long ago. Yes, it was, in Hawk's Nest. There's a guy that looks like a merchant. He says, I suggest making a map if thy path leads into the darkness, which is a hint of where we're going next. There's a little tiny room. One lady says, I hate people, go away. That sounds like me on a daily basis. No, I'm kidding. There's a tiny little phone booth type of room. I know it's not a phone booth. Don't go in there, because one person will say, talk to the guy next to me, and the other person will say, talk to the guy next to me. So you'll notice the northern part of the screen is black. Push against the wall, you could say. Push against the darkness is a hint that you'll hear in other parts of the game. I probably did mention that at one point. One of the people, eventually, you go through, and guess what? You're outside, sort of. Don't walk off the screen, though. If you walk into the green grass, you will be outside the town, and you'll have to do the whole thing over again, and you just wasted a key. Why did I not heal myself at the inn first? Okay, well, yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Well, that's the dumbest thing. Sometimes I just, it's a little bit of ADD kicking in here, but luckily I still have 4 magic keys, and, well, we basically have unlimited funds anyway, because, I already have 59,000 gold. Yeah, I do. Since the last, as I've been talking and such, and time has been passing faster, so to speak, if you know what I mean. I'm all the way up to level 20 now, 138 hit points, 128 magic points. And yes, you're going to want every one of those magic points. Thankfully, the door stays open unless you walk outside of town. So, if you make the mistake listening to me rather than just going straight to the inn. Anyhow, attack power is 113, defense power 91, flame sword is the sword. Erdrick's armor is the armor. because, yeah, we have it now. Must be somebody in the way. There we go. Somebody was actually in the way. So if you hear like the bouncing sound and you're trying to walk in through where the door is, somebody's actually standing in the way. How annoying is that? But yeah, Erdrick's armor, silver shield, and flame sword. We do not have Erdrick's sword. That's the only weapon remaining. Talk to the old man, and he will warn you that the harp attracts enemies. Stay away from the grave in Garenham. Well, that's what this is, a grave. So go down the stairs, and this is the second largest level in the entire game. There's only like a couple anyway. Of course, you're going to want to use Radiant, and your whole goal here is to eventually find the silver harp. It's one of those types of things. If you there's probably maps out there. I've never really used a map for this. You just kind of figure things out as you go. It's not too complicated. Monsters, rolls on the first level. But I know you go down 3 or 4 levels at the very least, and the monsters get tougher and tougher and tougher as you get further and further down into the level. Like right now, you're basically fighting like skeleton level monsters, which isn't hard at all, especially the fact that you're level 20, at least I am. Yeah, there's a door, so you're going to want to use a key there. Wahoo. I believe that's the only time you use a key in this level. So now we're actually in the real thing now as you go down the stairs, and yeah, things get interesting. This level and future levels, well, the only future level that's an actual level is Charlock. There will be some going down and some going back up and such, maybe to get certain items or to kind of maneuver around and such, like the mazes. So that's kind of how it works. It's one of those kind of things you can often figure out on your own, but I'll give you hints when we head towards Erdrick's sword in Charlock Castle when the time comes. But here, the silver harp. And if you pick up anything with the word cursed on it, of course, don't select it at all, because then you're like automatically equipping it when you do that, and then you're screwed and you got to pay a huge amount of money to get it uncursed. And you end up losing money. Of course, at this stage in the game, who cares? But it will damage you as well, though, as a cursed belt or a cursed, I forget what the other item is, will squeeze you and damage you as you're walking. So, not worth it at all. Yeah, but you can sell it if you don't equip it or whatever, for a decent amount of money. So there's always that. Of course, the further down, the better most of the time, but there are several different choices of where to go down. As you see, stairs here, stairs there, this and that. The second level down is mostly like monsters around Remuldar, like warlocks and wolves, basically. And you'll also notice now as you get further and further into this level, the further down you go, the music gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Where eventually, when you get to Charlock Castle, I will show a demonstration with the music. It goes down 8 levels.
When the music sounds like this.
Because you're basically, yeah, it's kind of almost like hell or something. In a lot of ways it kind of is, because the Dragon Lord himself
is waiting for you.
So it's kind of scary. A little bit, to say the least. Level basement 3, you could say, or basement level 3, whatever the heck you'd call it, Druid Lord. So now instead of Druids, you have Druid Lords. They can actually heal themselves, interestingly, but it's just the regular heal spell. And if you're, reasonably leveled up, Flame Sword and such, guys that cast heal aren't that intimidating. It's heal more. That's extremely annoying. And yes, you are going to run into dead ends. Oh, yes, you're going to run into dead ends. In Charlock Castle, you're really going to run into dead ends. But this place is, again, the second largest level in the game. And if you're under-leveled, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. So don't come here at level 13 or something, unless you're some kind of masochist or something. I'm now 4 levels down, believe it or not. But I think, no, maybe it's not a dead end. This might be the most important room in the level in a lot of ways, because the only choice in the center of the small room is to go up. And in a lot of ways, that's kind of like getting the Erdrick sword in Charlock Castle. There's a treasure chest in the place, and I've already found the silver harp, so that was insanely easy, actually. So all that's left now is to go outside, unless you want to keep exploring, but why? I don't know. Just escape, heal, whatever you want to do now, and we'll kind of head towards Tentacle Castle. I just say go ahead and return, because Tentacle Castle is our next destination for the Sunstones. Of course, you're going to want to heal now that we've warped back. You're going to want to, well, basically heal yourself, talk to the old man that restores your magic points, blah, 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 blah. because you're probably going to heal just randomly by walking around if you have Erdrick's armor. And again, I don't recommend going into Garenharm without Erdrick's armor, but you probably could beat it. I guess the Game Boy version was harder. I don't know. But I remember the Game Boy version being insanely hard and confusing. But it's kind of like probably easier in this game in terms of like not getting lost. Level building is much slower. In Tentacle Castle, buy more keys. Just max out your keys. You have unlimited resources if you've already purchased the silver shield. You don't need money anymore. You're done. You're the richest man in the world in this game. So max out your keys because you might need them. Walk along, and that's what they gave hints as well. This young lady says, when the sun and rain meet, a rainbow bridge shall appear. It's a legend. I won't get into rainbow bridges or anything, but the rainbow bridge does help you get to Charlotte Castle. So the trick now is you'll notice how you see the outskirts of the castle, so to speak. Walk one grid box basically out of the castle into the green area. One, that's it. Now walk down, 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 down. Okay, then you get to the what looks like a moat or whatever, like the water. I guess that technically is a moat. One space, one. And keep walking down. You'll notice there are stairs. Do not go over. This isn't baseball where you can run over first base and everything's okay. This is more like accidentally running over second base and you get tagged out because you'll walk outside of the castle and waste your stupid time. So go down the stairs, talk to the old timer, and if he didn't have Erdrick's token, he'd tell you to, GTFO or something like that. Maybe not quite that vulgar, but in similar fashion. He says, I have long... So this is the whole point of getting Erdrick's token, is this place and the other place where you exchange the harp for the Staff of Rain. They tell you basically like, oh, thou art failed in your mission, get the heck out of here, basically. Anyhow, the old man says, I have been waiting long for one such as thee. Take the treasure chest. And then you take the treasure chest. And now you have the stones of sunlight. And then you talk to the old man again. And he says, thou hast no business here, go away. Which is kind of like what you want to tell coworkers when you're having your lunch and you don't want to talk to anybody, but we'll leave that alone. The next step is going to be to get the Staff of Rain now they have the silver harp. If you want to be a goofball and play the silver harp and hear what it sounds like, it's actually quite pretty, but you get attacked immediately by a monster. It's so beautiful. Take a listen. It's actually quite nice. The only problem is, again, you get attacked immediately, but it's useful for level building, I guess. Let's just get rid of it. Cast Repel. So basically, leave Tentacle Castle and start walking northeast-ish. Northeast-ish, obviously, the mountain range that you're always kind of avoiding when you wanted to walk to Cole anyway. But we're heading towards Cole, but instead of going kind of southish as you cross the bridges and all that such, crossing the bridge when you get there. So you cross the first bridge, and you kind of notice there's the mountain range, in the northern area, and it keeps kind of coming south, 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 and kind of tucks around. We're going to be going through there soon. So, but for now, cross the bridge to the southwest. So instead of going to Cole or to where the cave where the dragon was and such, go north for a bit. You'll probably need to cast Repel again, because who wants to get attacked by worthless monsters that don't give you anything anyway at this stage? Keep going north until you notice there's a narrow area you can go to the west. As you walk through the mountain range, keep going north, 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 west, blah, blah, blah. It's quite linear, so you probably don't need too much help with that. Just kind of follow the coastline, go down. You've probably even explored on your own and gone down here anyway, just out of, the curiosity and such. Similar situation, old man with a treasure chest behind him. Thou hast brought the harp. Good. I have been waiting long for one such as thee. Take the treasure chest. He disappears for some reason, which is creepy. Maybe he was some ghost or something. Nah, he couldn't be. Pick it up. So basically, you give him the harp. He gives you the Staff of Rain. So now you can create rain. Ooh. So that's the next step you have. And a similar thing will happen if you try to talk to the guy again. He'll just tell you, go away, you have no business here. So, because he's having his lunch. Let him listen to podcasts. Let him listen to... let him listen to Video Game Flashback. Don't interrupt him. Just let him listen to the show, and rather than bothering him when he's trying to eat, because that's annoying, especially when it's dumb questions. Anyhow, so now we go to, now we do go south through the cave. You know, you don't worry about the poison swamp anymore. It's not going to damage you. So go south through the cave. If you need radiance, so be it. Who cares? You know, you can use it. If you can figure it out in the darkness on your own, which my friend Dave has been able to do in the past, it's not too hard. You're pretty much going south and then to the side a little bit and then south again once you hit the wall and all that cute stuff. So again, so we're basically heading to, you know, Remuldar area. But of course, down south of Remuldar, where the old man basically told you failed in your mission, get the heck out of here. And, well, now you've succeeded in your mission because you've got rain and sun. Ooh, because it's almost June and there's going to be a rainbow bridge. It's almost June and it's going to be a rainbow bridge. Okay, I didn't say that. I'm just playing around, but please don't be offended by that. It's not meant to be anything mean. And it is almost June. I always play this game in May, so yeah. By the time you're listening, it probably is June or July, depending on, you know, maybe the show has been out a while and you're, oh, Dragon Warrior, I never listened to that one. Or 5 years from now. But, yep, so now we're heading towards the place. I don't know why this is taking so long to defeat a stupid Goldman. I apologize here, dragging things out unnecessarily. And after about 20 minutes of trying to get through stupid monsters because I didn't cast Repel at the end here when it ran out, talk to the old man with the treasure chest, so it's the same kind of stuff again. Now the sun and rain shall meet, and the rainbow drop passes to thy keeping. Quaint. Thou hast no business here, go away. So now I have the rainbow drop, and we got rid of the 2 other items. So at this stage, just hang on to the rainbow drop unless you want to use it right away. And you kind of can, but I don't know, sometimes it's more interesting if you wait until you head to Charlock Castle. I think we're going to do that for now. So basically all that's left to do now is keep level building, depending on your level 20, 21-ish. You can beat the game at 21, 22, 23-ish. 21 is a stretch, but it's doable. 22 is more likely, 23 is more likely, so on and so forth. The levels aren't too spectacular from here on, but you know, the numbers add up. The strength, the agility, the hit points, the magic points do add up. So I recommend level building to, again, like I said, 22, 23, and then we'll eventually do the rainbow drop, heading towards Charlock Castle, and all that good stuff, and the final fun shall beginneth. I should also mention, as you're level building, if you haven't figured it out, at this stage of the game, you are at the maximum point of, like, it's going to take a maximum amount of experience points to gain the next level, 4,000. So each time you gain a level, it's 4,000 more experience points. But as you're stronger and stronger and stronger, you should be able to just kind of treat Hawk's Nest like it's a playground now. Not really, but a dangerous playground. Yeah, because you could still die there, because stupid things happen. But it's not as dangerous as it was before when you were level, 17, when you first started hanging out there and getting the Erdrick's armor. And of course, when you first walked in there without Erdrick's armor, yeah, very scary stuff. But yeah, now you can level build there and get your 4,000 experience points fairly quickly compared to before. And work your way to the lower 20s and eventually beat the game, baby. And now, upon having reached level 21, I do believe it is time to brave the Charlock Castle, particularly to at least get the Erdrick sword first. Because what you want to do is get the Erdrick sword, equip it, of course. When you find it, it is automatically equipped. And then you want to exit, heal up, and come back. You can level build maybe a little bit, another level or two to get to level 22, 23 to kind of feel a little more comfortable. It's doable to beat the game at 21. It's kind of like right on the borderline. But at 21, you should easily be able to get the Erdrick sword. That way you can whack some of these tough guys in the Hawk's Nest a little bit harder. And you will also get to introduce yourself to some of the hardest monsters in the entire game. So, of course, warp back from Hawk's Nest or return or whatever to Tentacle, whatever the heck. Heal, save, all that cute stuff. And then kind of venture your way towards... at least towards Remuladar. I like to mess around. You'll be using Repel and all that, because who wants to bump into a billion slimes and Drakes along the way? It's just annoying and irritating. And Repel only uses 2 magic points, so should be okay. And again, to try to beat the game, maybe level build a little more. all that good stuff. But again, head your way towards Rimulidar. And of course, you do have the rainbow drop and all that good stuff. Heal at Rimulidar because you have unlimited money anyway. I've already made the maximum amount, which is 65,535. Why it's that number, I have no idea. But similarly, when you reach that number for experience, you are also at the maximum amount of experience points. I have 30,036 at the moment upon just reaching level 21. Overall statistics are 149 hit points, 135 magic points, attack power 116, defense power only 92. What the heck? With Erdrick's armor and Sober Shield? And the next item we're going to get, and the very, very, very last item in the entire game, is Erdrick's Sword, which I guess is offensive. Yeah, you might have figured that out already. Yeah, I think you did. But if not, yeah, the sword is an offensive weapon. It's offensive. It offends me very much. And I'm going to report it to HR or to Facebook, whichever comes first. You know what? About healing at Rimulidar, what's the freaking point? I mean, odds are, yeah, you're just going to use one more repel spell along the way. Like la-di-da. And then once you cross the bridge, literally, as Mike Zimmer of the Minnesota Vikings would say, former Minnesota Vikings coach, which is a good thing in these parts. Again, instead of heading down to Rimulidar, if I say it correctly, just strictly head west right away. Everything gets a little thinner. You'll notice it's kind of like Alaska and Russia. Yeah, well, kind of. In terms of like there's a strait going through. Yeah, it's a strait going through like two little peninsulas kind of reaching out towards each other like Alaska and Russia. Yeah. So now we get to hear a very pretty little song as we put down the rainbow drop. So let's enjoy that cute little song because it actually feels really nice. The water starts turning like rainbow colors for a little bit, and you hear that cute little song, and then everything goes back to normal, and a bridge forms, and the bridge is not a rainbow color, but it probably is supposed to be, but it's not. Well, it's because it's May 31st. I'll leave that alone. So then you just kind of work your way up in what looks like a very dangerous place. It's creepy. You got the mountain range and all that stuff, and then Charlock Castle surrounded by a poison swamp. So you work your way inside, and yep, it's actually lit up. At least the very first floor is. Ignore everything you see, like the doors and going down and all that stuff. It's just a waste of time. You're going to run into an Axe Knight and stuff like that on the first floor. So this stuff is really serious because the Axe Knight is technically stronger than all the other guys in Hawk's Nest. So that's just the appetizer here. This is just a little shrimp appetizer at Benihana. You know all the other all the other courses are they're coming as you head deeper
and deeper into Charlock Castle.
But to the point, head all the way to the back area, the back center of the first floor. That's right. And you get attacked 500,000 times, but that's the annoying part. But yeah, it's kind of basically like Hawk's Nest. The first floor is like Hawk's Nest. Again, you get the idea. It gets meaner and meaner as you get further and further in. Again, so you go right behind what looks like a throne. Even it's a very primitive version of a throne. Five boxes, I guess. But that's the same throne like in the, in Tentacle Castle. Go directly behind the center one. Search. Oops, except don't hit stairs yet. That's a prequel of what's going to happen. Search. And guess what? Palladino discovers a secret passage because he did. Go down the stairs. And now you are in the final level of the game. Let the drama continue. So, yes, the whole idea here now, eventually as you're walking around, down to at least the second floor, or second basement, so to speak, L2, L3, L4, whatever, like lower levels, so to speak. You'll eventually work your way towards what looks like a treasure chest with stairs going up that you can't reach. So, or coming from below anyway, I should say. So you work your way down 2 or 3 floors or so, and then eventually you'll start seeing some up areas, which will lead you to where the Erdrick's Sword is. And yes, online, as you expect, there are maps. So level 2 is actually where you will see a treasure chest that is surrounded by walls, basically. That is Erdrick's Sword. So yeah, eventually you actually kind of go above it back into the first floor and inside, but you go down a ways first to reach a specific area to eventually reach it, if that kind of makes sense. Yep, it is what it is. Yep, and you'll understand what it is when you see it. Basically, that type of thing. You kind of go down, and then you kind of work your way back up, so on and so forth, and then back down again, and like kind of it'll become linear. That's the important part. That's when you know you found Charlock. I call it Charlock sword. That'd be Erdrick sword, more properly said. And of course, as you go further and further down, the music is
Deeper and deeper.
and I'll demonstrate the
Deepness of the music.
later. Sorry, it's kind of creepy, and it makes you think of horrible places that you'd never want to ever go to. So, yeah, that type of thing. It does kind of resemble that a little bit, but to this point, I've still not met any super mean guys just yet. I've not quite reached that yet, and I'm 3 levels in. Now I'm getting to 4. So actually, there's 8 levels down once you eventually get to the dragon himself, the dragon lord, pardon me. But we're not going to him yet. And if you do without Erdrick's sword, you'll do 0 damage. Yeah, you can't damage him without Erdrick's sword. That's a fact. It is an unfortunate, painful fact. Now we find the most powerful golem in the entire game, and he's arguably probably a top 3 monster in the entire game, called a Stoneman. I'm going to try to fight him for now and see what happens. He is one tough son of a gun, and the fact that I would miss is embarrassing, considering he's probably not that fast, but he's hitting me with like 26 each time. That's utterly ridiculous, and I hit him with 44, and it's still not enough, over and over again. The guy is tough, yeah. He still hasn't died. He has so many hit points. I barely survived, and I need to use heal more after just one actual battle with the son of a gun. So that's how tough those guys are. Watch out for Stonemen. But eventually you start seeing areas where you can clearly go up. New one, Blue Dragon. Those are very, very tough as well. But once you get to a point where you're extremely strong and all that stuff, and you have Erdrick's sword, finding you can actually level build with these kind of guys. The Blue Dragons. Red Dragons are a little different. They're the hardest dragon in the game. But the fact you get 60 experience points from a Blue Dragon is pretty impressive. So you get to an area, now that I believe this is level 4 down. There's an area where there's a stairs going up and a stairs going down. The stairs going up is like slightly south, and it's kind of like they're both kind of along like walls, so to speak, in the center of the room, or kind of near the center of the room. Start going up. I believe this is correct as you're heading towards Erdrick's sword. And watch your health meter at all times, because if you die, you're going to be really disappointed. Not because, oh my God, my money's gone, which would be annoying, but it's not the end of the world. I do believe I have found it because see, it's linear. See, once I went up the stairs in level 4, that was kind of like near the center of the room and all that, there's like a linear path leading to another stair up. Oh, maybe not. We'll see. There's all kinds of frustrating mazes in here. I think I'm good, though. Yeah, see, the good news is it hasn't opened up. When your path opens up, then you know you've gone the wrong way. See, it has to be a linear path. That's when you know for sure you're heading towards Erdrick's sword, which is obviously a wonderful, wonderful moment for you. You have acquired the best weapon in the entire game. Yeah, now there's a stair going down after going up, and again, I'm still in a linear path that is like you have one choice, Well, two choices: go back where you came or continue going forward, and that's it. And I do believe I have. Yep, I am in the little tiny area. We won't even call it a room, but it's kind of like a room within a room, like a closet almost, kind of. Let's look at the status one more time. 116 attack power. Search. It's a torch. Oh, yeah, what am I saying? I searched. How stupid. Take. I found a torch. Oh, great. Nope, it's Erdrick's sword. I'm just kidding. I had to do it. Just the satisfaction. So to go from 116 to 128, 12 attack powers gained, and of course the ability to kill the Dragon Lord once and for all. Because anything else, it'll just like, you'll be like banging against like metal. It'll be like banging against like a really thick metal or a really powerful or like a really big rock. It'll just get nowhere. So I have Erdrick's sword. I now recommend going outside, cast the outside spell, return and all that cute stuff, and then work your way back to Hawk's Nest. Gain a level, maybe two. You don't need to gain too many levels or anything, but gain a level or two, probably just to be safe. Unless you really want to keep going at level 21. But from here, again, we'll just do this and come back at level 23. Or 22, it doesn't matter. 22, 23. We'll see, feel what vibe I'm getting here. In my case, hell with it. Let's go with level 22. Let's return to the place called, Tentacle Castle. Heal up, get ready to go, and let's work our way towards Charlotte Castle, a good old-fashioned way like we did before. Basically, same type of steps as we went to get the Herdrick sword to get there, of course, and, looking for the passageway, though I suppose that's already been found. All that wonderful, wonderful stuff that you need to know, of course. But now we will descend into Charlotte Castle, and now you will hear a little production from me that I made about the actual music, all the way down from top to bottom of Charlotte Castle. And now we begin the descension into Charlotte Castle. Level 1 isn't so bad. Level 2, however, a little scarier as the music gets deeper. And level 3, it gets deeper. Level 4, still deeper, but not that scary yet. Level 5, it starts getting a little bit more serious. Level 6, you'll notice a resemblance to the music in Hawk's Nest. Yeah, it's 6 levels down music, basically, in Hawk's Nest. So, as the monsters get scarier and scarier. Level 7 is the real deal. Get ready for some real tough stuff. And now, the time has come. Level 8 awaits, and let me tell you, it is the pits of hell for the Dragon Warrior. But ultimately, will he succeed against the Dragon Lord? Well, that's what level 8 is all about. And of course, in Charlotte Castle, magic is of the essence, not just because you want to heal yourself along the way down, but because, well, the final battle is a marathon. It is yeah, you're grinding it out. It is a guerrilla battle, guerrilla war, whatever the heck you want to call it. It is a slugfest. You need to, I've used about a million different terms, but you need to have enough magic to heal as much as possible because the Dragon Lord, he takes like 10 damage and you take a lot more. We'll leave it at that, especially by the time we get there. I'll describe exactly what's happening and all that. But again, just working your way down, down, like I said. And let me tell you, the battle rate in this place could drive you to pure insanity. It's not the biggest level in the world. It's the biggest level in the game, but it's like, compared to other games, it's small. But again, the battle rate, the attack rate can drive you insane, especially depending on who's attacking you. Like, Star Wyverns that heal themselves and such. Axe Knights that can put you to sleep. Magi Knights that can heal when you've almost beaten them. Oh my god. And they are the toughest character in the game outside of Red Dragons. So that's pretty much all I have not seen so far. Stone Golems that have like 1,000,000 hit points. It's freaking ridiculous. You feel like you're hitting them forever. So, wizards that can cast Hurt More. They can do 20 to 30 damage, which is obnoxious for such a weak-looking character that you can kill in 2 hits at this point in the game. So there is a bit of that, a bit of this, and a bit of that. And unfortunately, you're going to end up using magic because of Radiant off and on, as the thing gets weaker and weaker. So the hope is you progress and figure yourself out. There's a trap where you can get stuck going through the same thing over and over and over again. So I'll make that aware. It's basically a place where, we'll get there when we get there. I don't want to give you wrong information. Another annoying factor is getting kind of sort of lost as you're wandering around and you end up wasting the Radiant. It's a pain. Like I'm prone to do that quite often. It's it's not like I know exactly where I'm going at all times. I just kind of have a general idea where I'm going. It's funny, you could get Erdrick's Sword again, even though that would be really dumb and stupid. Like, why would you waste the resources to do that? But you can. Yeah, don't even think about it though. It's funny how the treasure chest is still there. So I don't know. It's just there to annoy you, I guess. There's one thing that I think works, but my theory is not proven. If you get put to sleep, press the 2 buttons real quick, A and B, really fast, just kind of with your 2 fingers. Just da-da-da-da-da. It's not proven, but it seems to work. I'm already at the point now where I'm starting to see blue dragons and such. I'm about midway through the level. Blue dragons, axe knights. Blue dragons aren't too scary, but a little bit. They have a little more offense than some of the other characters we've fought in this level. To start, like obviously wizards don't have much regular attack power, but they can cast Hurt More, which hurts more. Yeah. Luckily, just got an excellent move on a blue dragon. I've killed 3 already, which is kind of crazy. But now, yeah, it's kind of like the midpoint of the level where you either choose to start working your way up to get the Erdrick's Sword. I hope I didn't call it Charlock's Sword, but that's when you have decisions to go up and down. I believe I'm on level 5 down now. There's a couple stairwells that you can choose from in level 5. There's one kind of all by itself and one that's kind of tucked around like some walls, so to speak. I do believe you want to go down the one tucked by walls, and we'll find out right here and right now if I ever beat this blue dragon. It's like, I got him. No, he's still there. Come on, man. So, and of course, Radiant lasts like 15 seconds. Yes, that is the correct one, the one with the walls. If you go on the one that's kind of all by itself in the right area, upper right area of, I believe it's level 5, you're kind of screwed. So if you're kind of walking around a thin path that's kind of from the upper right down and around to the left side of the screen, you've gone the correct way, and you're on your way to heading towards the Dragon Lord himself. Level 6 is when the game changes dramatically and you're fighting magic knights, stone golems, and red dragons. It's the real deal the rest of the way. All the way to Dragon Lord himself. Heal spells are very recommended, but be careful, be conservative, because luckily if you walk and don't get attacked too much, you might be able to get away. And you might be able to get away with it and such and heal along the way. Unfortunately, I guess it's called Armored Knights now. What's going on? A Mandela effect or something? Maybe this is a different version of the game. I remember them being called Magi Knights or Magic Knights. Okay, well, if you ever see the red screen, like everything starts turning red, use Heal More right away. Don't even tempt fate, just don't. Tempt not the fates. Unfortunately, the SOB also used Heal More. Big surprise. Very powerful Armored Knight with Hurt. He can cast Hurt More. See, he's a Magic Knight, damn it, not an Armored Knight. But he can cast Hurt More, he can cast Heal More, and his offense is really strong. He's probably my least favorite enemy in the game. It's just, I hate him so much. And they take forever to kill, and you end up losing your resources. But again, once you get the little path that kind of wraps around, so to speak, and on level 6, so to speak, that's when you're going the right way. If you get what looks like a repetitious little path, you're going the wrong way. I don't know what I just cast, and I'm mad at myself. I just wasted magic points. Stupid. Anyhow, you get a path that is very clear on level 7 where you're just walking through kind of an open screen to the right, from left to right. And everything is lit up now because you're basically in HE double hockey sticks, like I said. Do you want to hear the level 8 song again? What the heck, I'll play it again. It's only 2 little loops anyway, so it's like, I kind of had you miss out. And of course, the character you see, kind of what looks like a throne, kind of, sort of, he looks like a wizard-looking guy to the right that you have to walk around to get to. That's him. That's your guy. That's the Dark Lord, unfortunately. That's the guy you're here for, to kill. Ignore every treasure chest. It's a waste of time and effort. You're going to get attacked by the meanest characters in the game. Armored Knights, Magi Knights, whatever they're called. Stone Golems, Red Dragons. It sucks. I haven't actually been hit by a red dragon yet. We'll see. I'm trying to run away, but of course these effing a-holes won't stay out of it, won't let you go most of the time, but sometimes they do. Go to the left and walk around. Stay away from the upper left path because that's just a dead end. Maybe you'll notice it pretty quick. And just kind of work your way around. Ignore the doors, ignore the treasures. You have one target here. That's the Dragon Lord himself. Armored Knights that won't let you run are like the worst feeling ever. Magi Knights, Armored Knights. Maybe it's a blessing I've never ran into a red dragon because they do have the most offense of any character in the entire game, and they have a lot of hit points as well. And the lady upstairs just simply won't sit down, and it's pissing me off as I'm getting stressed out running into these godforsaken Armored Knights. There's the red dragon. I'm going to fight it just for the sake of fighting it. 26 damage, and the son of a... I forgot. The SOB has sleep. So, isn't that just great? Luckily, I woke up right away because I pressed the buttons aggressively. I think there's something to that. I do. It's a theory, but I think I'm right. I've hit him like 50 times, and he's still there, and now he put me to sleep again. And he hits you with 30. 30! That is really harsh at this point in the game with this armor. But you get 100 experience points. Unfortunately, he ate up so many magic hit points, I have to use Heal More. I mean, I'm not going to not use Heal More, so I'm just going to try to run from anything else along the way. I'm going to try as I might, because I only have 98 magic points remaining. So at level 22, I have 158 hit points, 146 magic points, but I've used up resources along the way. I'm going to save state just in case. I shouldn't even say that, but I am going to. Just in case this was some kind of a mistake or whatever. Yeah, just in case I screwed up here. But hopefully this is doable. Walk up to the Dragon Lord himself. And luckily I'm able to talk to him, which means I don't have to fight any more stupid dragons or anything else. Welcome, Paladino. I am the Dragon Lord, King of Kings. So in a lot of ways, what he's saying, he's Satan. Because what did Satan say in the Bible? He thought he was God or bigger than God or whatever. So... when obviously he's quite the opposite. I have been waiting long for one such as thee. I give thee now a chance to share this world, and to rule half of it, if thou wilt stand beside me. What sayest thou? Will the great warrior stand with me? If you say yes, you lose everything. You lose all your magic points, your gold, blah blah blah, and the game's over. I did it for fun once, which was stupid, and he's like, ha 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 ha. I could play it out and then use the save state. I don't think I want to. It's dumb. What's the point? So just say no. Thou art a fool, and then you start fighting him as like a wizard type character, who isn't nearly as imposing and scary as what's coming. He casts a stop spell, which basically does, well, I don't know. It's not a good thing. Hopefully it doesn't prevent me from using heal later, but I don't think it does. You beat him very, very, very easily, and then everything changes very dramatically. A massive dragon standeth before thee, and now you get to hear the final battle music, folks. Literally right out of the gate, bam, 33 damage. What a, thanks, dude. And then you hit him with a 10. A 10. Everything else does nothing. Breathing fire, 46 damage. So, yeah, at 65 hit points, you probably want to use heal more. Unless you're really running low on resources, then you just have to pray to God. You're hoping many times over that you could have some type of like a, excellent hit, whatever. But once you get into the at least 50s, you want to use heal more as soon as possible. I suppose you could let it drop. In the 60s, he's going to hit you with like 40 and get down to the 20s. You should be able to use your heal more first. So that way you conserve your magic. Because if you run out of magic, you're done. Once you're down into the 30s, though, you got to heal, like, immediately. It's that simple. I think you get the point, battle away, and good luck. I don't know what I was thinking. I attacked him with 45 hit points. He hit me with 44. I survived with 1 hit point. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. That's all I got to say about that. 53, let's heal again. I'm not even going to attempt Fateth anymore. Yeah, I know. It's what it is. Heal more heals you with 100 hit points officially. So it's not like it fills you up all the way. I wish it did. But it just got to keep going. It's a grueling battle. And literally, by the grace of God, I was able to survive. I was down to 8 magic points and 95 hit points. I could have been hit 2 more times probably, and that's it. Game over. Thou hast done well in defeating the Dragon Lord. Thou hast found the Ball of Light. Radiance streams forth as thy hands touch the object and hold it aloft. Across the land spreads the brilliance until all shadows are banished and peace is restored. You have all your hit points and magic points. You could literally walk anywhere and never get attacked again, which sounds absolutely wonderful, but just use the return spell and return to the castle. It's a relief. That battle is the scariest thing ever, and the music makes you feel makes you kind of, in a way, it's just so terrifying imagining fighting something with all that fire, literally fire power coming at you, and you're surviving by the skin of your teeth each time you get hit, basically, and you're just hitting him as hard as you can, and it's like, only 10? Okay. Wow. And you're just getting literally like cooked. Oh my God, that's terrifying, man. Charbroiled, whatever you want to call it. So talk to people, come now, King Lorik away. It's pretty much what most people say. At least that's what the soldiers say at the entrance. I do believe everybody says it. Yeah, I'm going to see if the soldiers all say it. Let's see if the regular people say it. Yes, okay. So simply walk up to King Lorik. Otherwise, you're just going to have a broken record type of deal. Nobody's jealous or anything at this point, and no reason to be jealous now. The legends have proven true, says King Lorik. Thou art indeed the Lion of Erdrick. Why, because I killed the Dragon Lord? Well, what if I wasn't and I still was able to kill him, though? Okay, anyhow. It is thy right to rule over this land. Will thou take my place? Palladino thought carefully before answering. I cannot, said Palladino. If I ever am to rule a country, it must be a land that I myself find. Gwaelin said, Please wait. I wish to go with thee on thy journey. May I travel as thy companion? Of course. I'm so happy. I am too. And thus the tale comes to an end, unless the dragons return again. Ooh, are you opening things up to a sequel? But of course you are. Enjoy the ending music. Absolutely a wonderful feeling. Congratulations, thou hast restored peace to this world, but there are many roads yet to travel. May the light shine upon thee. Aw. So it's cool. And then you get the end credits and all that good stuff. So, yes, it does lead to a sequel because, of course, the three main characters in Dragon Warrior 2 are all descendants from, this, from you, the descendant of Erdrick, and the Princess Gwaelin. So, yes, you do go to different lands, and eventually those characters wander back into Alefgard as well. So that's always really cool. Dragon Warrior 3 is a prequel. You are Erdrick. So the story of Erdrick, I never played through that one, but I did play through Dragon Warrior 2, and I will play through 3 someday on this show. I hope I do, and 2. 2 will be next in line, I would think, if I do play, if and when I continue in the series of Dragon Warrior. So I'll at least probably go through the 4 games, but certainly not in a row. What a wonderful game. I love it so much. And a lot of people probably don't appreciate it as much because it's so primitive and boxy. And gosh, I need 4,000 experience points. Jeez, and I've only gotten, and getting 60 is considered like, holy crap, what a wonderful battle. So yes, it takes time and everything to just level build. You're grinding, and people get bored. But you know what? I think it's all worth it at the end of the day. I love it. I love the game. I love the scenery. I love the music. I like the whole old-fashioned, 1,000 years ago kind of thee and thou type of stuff. I think it's cool. I really do. Armor, yep, there's all different credits. NX started in 86, and then Nintendo kind of got it here in the United States in 89. So thank you, NX, the end, and all that good stuff. Let's head to Twitter. And here's some fan interaction at long last. Yes, feedback, and I really appreciate it. Vince Germano retweeted it most recently, and Derek Felska as well. Memories of thoughts of Dragon Warrior and NES. Share it with at VGF_podcast. So that is the Twitter account, and you'll see that in the show description, of course. And I encourage anybody and everybody to comment. Please do. I'd really appreciate it. What was this one? Yeah, what was that? What game was Derek saying he hadn't played yet? Must have been. I'm not sure. Yeah, it was one of those newer games. He was responding to. Oh, okay, that must have been Flashback itself. Yeah, Flashback itself. I actually used the Genesis, though. The Genesis version, I think, is a little better. There's more music and such, kind of like NBA Jam as well. So the graphics are usually better on Nintendo, and they're more colorful. But sometimes the gameplay is better on Sega Genesis. So, yeah, we're going to be hearing Sega Genesis games on here. And we're going to be hearing Sega Master System games as well. Nudge, nudge, hint, hint. So, yep, that's what Derek was replying to, I believe it was Tim Nato. I'd like to hear from Tim Nato sometime on here. That'd be great. What were we talking about back in March? Yep, Zelda 2. Yep, so, yeah, that was the game we were doing back in kind of March into April. And, of course, yep, then we dragged this game for a while, but really enjoyed it so much. God, I love this game. Derek Felska. Let's get to Derek now instead of me babbling. I'm really sorry. Derek Felska at Crease and Assist, coming in out of Western Wisconsin. Great guy, of course. We're big Minnesota Wild fans, and he also does the Crease Assist podcast. Do check that out. Hockey fan or not, it's awesome. But I mean, hockey fan especially, Minnesota Wild. He says, I remember Dragon Warrior very well. The game was a giveaway with a subscription to Nintendo Power. The subscription price was literally the same as it had always been, but now you got a game. Yeah, what a deal. Isn't that great? And it was like brand new at the time, too. Like a brand new box and everything. What a deal. Like, seriously. I think it came with a strategy guide, too, which provided a map and item descriptions. Oh, man, I wish I could find that. That sounds so cool. Like, I've never seen a Dragon Warrior map. I do believe I got the manual somewhere. It's actually in good shape, but I forget where it's kind of like buried, that kind of thing. But it is in good shape because I ordered it from Nintendo directly back in the day, back in the mid '90s. Derek Felska continues. My brother and I immediately set off to play the game. Again, this is circa 1989. 1989. I just, I smile ear to ear just thinking about it. I remember the simple one-on-one, the one versus one, turn-based combat. As you moved throughout the world, you were confronted by slimes in different colors, Drakes, Wyverns, and I think Scorpions. Yes, they were there. Yep, you said I could be wrong. Yep, 3 levels of Scorpions at the least. I believe there's 3 levels of pretty much every monster, I believe. If not more. Yeah, Wyverns, there's 3 of those. Drakes, there's 3. The Draki, the Magi Draki, and the Drakima, which you often saw you'd see the Drakima in like the levels, like the dark levels. They were kind of white colored, so kind of like a poltergeist or something. Yep. 3 dragons. Yeah, there's 3 levels of everything. Like the knight, the axe knight, and the armored knight or Magi knight was what I remember playing the NES on the cartridge. For some reason, this one it said armored knight. I don't know what the heck. This was on the classic NES classic. Yeah. Yep, for sure. So now I'm babbling again. And this is about Derek, not about me here. I'm really sorry. It was my first RPG experience, and my brother and I were determined to complete it. The open world music and combat music and victory music are all things I can recall very well. We had some struggles. We learned the hard way to save it any chance you got. Yeah, because stupid things happen so much. Really stupid things happen. So yes, take care and tempt not the fates, right? We eventually went on to beat the game, and it felt like a well-earned accomplishment. And all these years later, I still feel that. Right now, as I just finished it off, I feel so good. I never knew at the time they released 3 more games for the NES. My friends didn't really talk about this game either, as most like sports or action-oriented games instead. Yeah, it took me a while to get into RPGs as well. I didn't get into them until '94, so I'm even later to the party. But Well, 94 is now 29 years ago, so I guess it's a while. And I got caught up with a lot of these gems that deserve so much recognition. And again, that's the reason why this game was cheaper at FuncoLand, because it was a giveaway. Not because being a giveaway makes it cheap, but because it was more common, right? So, yep, and you know that more than I do. Derek says, I only played a few RPGs on the NES, Ultima Exodus and Final Fantasy, but I didn't beat either. And in both of those, you controlled a party of characters instead of just one, which required more strategy and management. It is still a very cheap game today. Yeah, see, that's what's good about Dragon Warrior. The battles didn't take as long, you know? Final Fantasy, there is the stupidest thing of all time in Final Fantasy, like, say, Final Fantasy 1, that is. In normal games, like, say, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 3, I think they'd already fixed it. 2, I don't remember if they had yet or not. But it's the dumbest thing ever. Even in Dragon Warrior 4, 1992, years later. Dragon Warrior 4. Final Fantasy came out in 1987, right? You could kill a monster, like say you have all the characters, you just kind of press fight, right? So everybody's geared up to attack this one monster first, and then, okay, Goblin 1 is dead. So they're going to go to Goblin 2, right? No, they're going to swing at the empty spot where the Goblin 1 was and say ineffective attack, and you just wasted a move. What? Do you think we're the dumbest people on earth? Yep, that's what I hated about Final Fantasy 1. So you had to really strategize to make sure, okay, so this one's only going to take 2 hits or 1 hit, so we got to make sure we have the attack spread all over the place. And if you know they're super tough characters, have everyone attack it, or have 2 people attack one and have 2 people attack the other, that type of thing. And that also was in Dragon Warrior 4, which is a absolute abomination. 92. In the NES world, that's like super duper modern. That's like PS5. Okay, sorry. Oh, you got me going. But you got me going. But yeah, that's what sucked about that game. But great memories and great music, though. Absolutely great. And that's another one that was 3 years late coming to the NES. 1990, the American NES, excuse me. So let's start where Derek was talking. I only played a few RPGs on the NES, Exodus and Final Fantasy, but I didn't beat either in both of the... Yeah, he was saying, oh, yep. So I actually did read that. Yep, you had to be more strategic and everything. And boy, did you ever. Yeah, so, and then Derek says, sorry, I forgot the tag. Hashtag VGFB, like Video Game Flashback. Yeah, please do put those in there. And the fact Derek put that there is totally fine at the end. It all kind of brought it all together. Thank God for that. And that's especially if there was like a bunch of notifications. That helps. But see, right now, I don't have a ton of notifications yet. So, but in the future, like say like Brave the Wild, that can really add up. A lot of people getting in conversations and such, and like there's multiple like Twitter accounts linked in the conversation, so it can add to like too many notifications. That's where the hashtag comes in so handy, and we'll always keep that and encourage that on there no matter what, even on this show as well. Thank you, Derek, so much. You are a pillar of the show, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much for that conversation. It brings back great memories, and of course triggered me a little bit with some of the frustrations of Final Fantasy 1. As good as a game as it is, but in the remakes, they corrected that issue. Unfortunately, the remakes didn't have the charm as the original game. Like say the Game Boy version, Game Boy Advance version, kind of slow and boring. Did I say that? Yeah, I like the NES version more actually, but it's just that there's that. Yeah, Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Origins on PlayStation 1. Yeah, I don't know. The best version of Final Fantasy 1, I think, came on the PSP. It was so well done. Oh my God. They did such a good job on that. Just the music, the feel, the vibe, and they made it 3D looking, but they also made it look like Final Fantasy 1. They weren't trying to make it look like, Final Fantasy 9, like that's what I didn't like about FF1 and 2 Origins on the PS1. It looked like FF9 where it's like modern retro. It looked like crud. Just boring. It was kind of a boring look. It's modern graphics, but kind of pretending to be retro with like the old mage look. I don't know. I didn't like it that much. I think they did a better job with the PSP back in the day. What a nice job they did, and I believe that was a 20-year anniversary at the time. Came out in 2007, I believe, for the PSP. So I could be wrong. I might be way off, but it's around that time, late 2000s. So Thank you so much, Derek, and those of you that retweet and conversate with the show off and on. But hope to have more and more of you jumping in. But Derek, thank you so much, and please never stop. You are, again, like I said, a pillar to the show, and I appreciate you so much. The next game. What will the next game be? Well, first I'll give some ratings on this game. Dragon Warrior 1, the replay value to me is a 5. To other people, it might be like a 3 or something because it's too slow. But, the gameplay to me is a 5, again, because of the one-on-one battles. And just overall grade for the game, like 4.5, only because maybe it's a little primitive. Generally speaking, though, it's a 5 type of game. I mean, for me, I'll play it every May for the rest of my life, probably. I could be 75 years old, saying, 75, 80 years old. Hey, get out of here. I'm playing Dragon Warrior 1. Go away. Go, get out of here. Get out of here. Don't bother me right now. Just kidding. Anyhow, the next game will be Castle of Illusion, not for Sega Genesis, but for Sega Master System. What a special little game. And I tend to play that around this time of year as well as we head into June, July-ish, especially June. Castle of Illusion for Sega Master System. The Sega Master System will make its debut on the video game Flashback. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. Hope you enjoyed this review. Please tell your friends about the show. Download it on Spotify if you can. Those of you that have, I appreciate it very much. But if you can, download and listen to this show on Spotify. It'll help the growth of the show because this is Spotify for podcasters. So it kind of, again, it appears like it's kind of like a Nielsen rating thing in a way. It helps the growth of the show where the others don't help as much. It still counts as a download, but it's just... it can help the growth of the show, basically. If you want to support the show, there's also a link in the show description. Again, thank you so much. Share the show, retweet the show. Word of mouth is worth its weight in gold, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you always for, and yes, positive ratings on Apple Podcasts and other podcasting applications out there. Definitely help the growth of the show as well. Nice to meet any of you. Don't be afraid to tweet me anytime you want. Instant message, whatever the heck. I'd love to hear from you. Talk some retro games, tweet, retweet, this and that. And let's build this community, if humanly possible. Until next time, again, take care and game on.